Away there at Firth Park, Billy. You'll bring us all the news from that one. It's a 7:45 start. What about your thoughts, Billy, on this match here at Ibrox? It's a huge game tonight.
Oh, it certainly is. It always is that fixture anyway, but then you throw in the new manager scenario when it just brings a bit of spice to it, doesn't it? But there's talk in the game and actually getting your team to go out and do the business. He has to pick this Aberdeen team up. They got a good result Saturday, not good first half, really good performance second. He'll be hoping to carry that on. It's a team though that can hurt Rangers. They've proven that already this season, but they need to be at the top of their game, Aberdeen. It's such a good fixture to play in, but Rangers, they are in such a formidable run, and the galling thing about it, Kerry, I think there's more to come for Rangers.
Yeah.
Stephen said they're winning with efficiency, and he's right, but they've not hit really top notch for me yet, so that should be worrying for any opposition against them. But it's such a big game, and but with the new manager scenario and the type of fixture it is, it'd be a great game to play tonight.
Billy, it reminds me of your answer, and I put this to Tomo and to Willie as well. I remember John Collins said 50-50.
Yeah, same.
Were you the same? So I was asking the guys, Tomo, in terms of weighing up where you see the title race right now, Rangers and Celtic. I remember 2 weeks ago, before Celtic obviously dropped points at Pittodrie, Tom English had gone 65%, 35% in favour of Celtic, but both our guys, John Collins and Dodge and Saturday, were sitting at 50-50. Is that the way you see it, or right now does one of the clubs have an edge?
Well, obviously not when you look at the table. There is no edge. It's nip and tuck, and I expected to go that way right until, I mean, I was involved in two last day league wins for Rangers when I was at the club, and it was incredible, and it wouldn't surprise me if it went all the way again this season. I've seen people talking about, they think that the Old Firm games are going to be, you know, of utmost importance. I don't necessarily agree. I think there's points that can be dropped out with the Old Firm games that will be equally as important. For me, I think that Celtic just now, Brendan Rodgers is trying to quieten a bit of the noise from the supporters, and the kind of disquiet that you're getting. Their supporters aren't happy. They're not happy with a lot of the product that they're seeing on the pitch, off the pitch, with the board. So if you're picking a team that's in a better place, which is incredible given where Rangers were only going back a short time ago, then you'd say right now Rangers are in a better place. They have better momentum and just a better feeling around them. But you would write off Celtic at your peril, because they're a very, very, very good team with a top manager. So it is very difficult to call, but I do think it will go to certainly the last couple of weeks.
Do you go along with that, Willie? Do you see much between the sides at the moment? As Thomas said, a bit of disquiet among Celtic fans. We had one on Sports on Saturday. They're not at all happy with the last two windows, the business or lack of business that has been done. It just feels like at the moment, but it can change quickly, there's real momentum with Rangers.
I don't think that Celtic hadn't looked a happy team for most of the season, to be honest. There's no doubt that there's quality. They've got a lot of injuries. We get players away in international duty as well, but you know, I've watched them at times and just thinking that they lack that tempo at times, you know, to really you know, put the sword in when they're on top, and some of their performance has been a little bit lacklustre. But you could say that about Rangers as well. I think you know, Philippe Clement is certainly top of the league in terms of results, but I'm not so sure about performances. I actually think both clubs, their level of performances have dipped a bit, particularly Celtic. I think Celtic more than Rangers, and Rangers have made up that ground, and it's going to go to the wire. I don't see, you know, having watched Celtic in the second half in particular and not putting Aberdeen away in the first half at Pittodrie, then you know, if they continue along that vein, Stephen's right, you know, there's points that can be dropped outside the Old Firm.
I think Celtic really miss, for me, Hatate, and I think they miss Maeda's energy. All right, his end product isn't always brilliant, but excuse me, I feel as though they're missing a bit of energy from their side at this minute in time. Kyogo maybe not firing as he was, certainly not firing as he was last season. And Carter Vickers been in and out the team as well, hasn't helped them. Those three players are huge for them, and when you've not got somebody of Hatate's quality to select from on a weekly basis, I don't think they've managed to fill that position with somebody in the team that's got anywhere near his quality. Carter Vickers coming out of the team, Maeda's energy, so they are missing some key players, but a team of Celtic's quality with the resources that they've got should be able to see out that spell without those players with the squad that they have.
Let's return to Rangers' opponents this evening, Aberdeen, Billy. Now, Willie just wasn't having this at all on Saturday. I had this story that Aberdeen have got elite consultants in to help with it.
And I'm not having it tonight either.
Right,
so
okay,
you can carry on.
right.
There you go.
Okay.
You don't expect him to have changed in 2 days, do you?
No, but I'm going to see if you can convince him that he's not right. Good luck, Billy. But so basically, they've got elite consultants in to help with the appointment of the next permanent manager and to have a look at the club from academy to first team. So your thoughts on that, Billy?
I just think you've got to show your fans at times that you know the direction you're going at, and sometimes it smacks of we're not really sure where we are. We've got to get people in to help us make the decisions. I think it's not a daft decision, like bringing in a manager to the end of the season if you're not sure in terms of it'll buy you time. But I think a lot of fans would have liked clarity. Look, that's Barry gone now, the results weren't good enough, but we know what we're doing, we've got it all in hand, the recruitment's good and we know the direction the club are moving in. But when you start relying on other people, I don't think it sends the right message. But they've done the right thing in terms of bringing in an interim manager till the end of the season if they're not sure.
Yeah, here's the thing, Dodgy and Kenny. You know, whenever Aberdeen have changed managers the last 2 years, there's something come out of the woodwork that was unknown prior to the manager being sacked. You know, it was the board. God, I've been saying it all night as well. What's the name of they brought out the board that was not a temporary board, but a performance board, right? They brought out the performance board when they sacked Jim Goodwin, and it was their job to oversee it. They're now bringing in consultants now. I maybe missed it, but I didn't know they were bringing in consultants. And why do you bring in consultants at the end of the year, not the beginning of the season?
Because so, maybe an admission Will have got it wrong.
Yeah, but they've had it wrong for 3 years, Kenny. I'm sorry, Kenny, they've had it wrong for 3 years. So why didn't they bring it in 3 years ago?
Right, I was trying to think of a different way of approaching this with you tonight. So let's put it this way. A football manager will sometimes bring in a set-piece coach, a defensive coach, a striking coach, because he can't be an expert in all the areas. Is that not what the Aberdeen board are doing here, saying we can be experts in marketing, running a football club? When it comes to appointing the manager, we need some help with that. Is that not
I wouldn't agree with that, Kenny.
No?
I'll tell you why I wouldn't agree with it, because the manager still knows the direction he wants his club to go in. I want a set-piece specialist. I want to bring in a goalkeeping coach or a heady performance. But he knows the direction, he knows what he wants. That's what I would say to that. That's not the same thing for me, Kenny,
no.
that one.
No, Dodger, they're all there as well. The sports scientists are there. Yeah, if you want a goalkeeper, the goalkeeping coach is there. Yeah, right? If you need a defensive coach, the manager can bring him in. The youth development programme is there. It's run by the SFA, by the way, the youth development. So what are you going to change there? So what I'm saying is, I don't know who these consultants are, why they've been brought in at the end of the year, not the beginning of the season, and what is their remit, and what are they there to do? Are they there just to... Well, it's a whole football department that they're looking at, according to the chairman. So that really surprises me, and I think it would surprise most of the fans out there that it's been brought out at the end of the year, midway through the season, and what is their actual remit.
What would you say if you're Dave Cormack to Neil Warnock? What's a realistic goal? Is it fourth spot now? Should that be the target?
Well, I mean, they've got to get into the top six. You know, let's be honest about it. If they could beat here tonight and Motherwell, you know, win their game as well, then it's not a good look where Aberdeen are sitting. And the games that they've had to make up are slowly drifting away, so they don't have that reason to put forward that it will be all right because the games are not there to make up the points. It's got to be top six, a cup run, absolutely. As Neil Warnock says in his interview, let's have some fun. I hope we can have some fun. I hope we bring some fun to this club.
I'll tell you one thing,
because it's been torture at times over the last 4 years.
The last 4 minutes hasn't it been a lot of fun?
Well, Kenny started it.
I know. Tomo, we want to make Wally smile. Please make Wally smile.
What are your thoughts on this,
Goal!
Yes,
it's
Billy.
Motherwell. It's come from the home side. I'm not sure who's stuck in. It's down the right-hand side. And it's coming in from the left-hand side. It could have been Halliday, actually. I'm not sure. I'll see. I'll let you know in a minute. But it's just a build-up down the right-hand side. Ball across. left-footed home. It's Andy Halliday who has given the home side the lead. It's Motherwell 1, Ross County 0. What a fantastic start for the home side.
Yeah, big goal that. And we heard from Stuart Ketwell, he's been happy with performances, too many draws. He said they need a win, and particularly against teams around them like Ross County are. That could be a huge goal for Motherwell this evening. Stephen Thompson, just to get back to this Aberdeen debate, 'cause it's been a big story all week, and actually it's been a big story for weeks around the future of Barry Robson. The change has been made. We've heard from the new manager, he's into the end of the season. Kelly asked him, look, if you do a good job, get the Dons into Europe, could you be tempted? I mean, is that a ridiculous suggestion that he'd be kept on?
Just one moment before you go to Stephen. Football Monitoring Board, it was called.
Football Monitoring Board.
Sorry, I'd lost it. My researchers just texted me with the name.
You've got a researcher? I wish I had one.
Yeah, I've got consultants and looking at my whole performance, actually.
Kenny, Tomo, I'm just wondering who's the unhappiest. Is it Derek Adams or Willie Miller? I don't know these days.
What was your question, Kenny?
Is it in terms of the approach Aberdeen have gone with here to get their new manager and the right man for the job this time?
I don't see Neil Warnock being a long-term solution. Right. I think in the summer that'll change. If he gets them into 4th place into Europe and wins the Scottish Cup, then anything is possible in football. We've seen it all. But I think it's until summer. I don't think it's a bad appointment between now and the summer. I think his experience, he'll certainly not be fazed by coming in here to Ibrox. He's managed at Old Trafford, at Anfield, at Stamford Bridge. This won't faze him. It shouldn't faze the Aberdeen players either, having come here earlier this season and won.
He's smiling. Look, he's got a smile.
He's got nothing to lose. He's only here for 3 months. For goodness sake, what a job that is. He knows he's going to get the sack at the end of the season.
Well, I mean, would you sack him if they finish 4th and win the Scottish Cup for the first time in a million years? Would you say then that you would get a new manager then?
Well, that's what the chairman's told us. He's a temporary manager. He's here to the end of the season. That'll give them time to find the manager to take them forward on a long-term basis.
We shall see. In terms of this game here tonight, guys, you played in this fixture, 200 or 300 Aberdeen fans over in the corner there, it's a full house here at Ibrox. You can feel the tension. We said that right in the top of the programme at 7:05. The teams are about to come out here. How would you describe the rivalry between these two clubs?
It's a surprise when you first arrive. For me it was. I mean, obviously it's a fixture through the years that's seen some incredible rivalry. Willie knows a lot more about that than I do. But you know, you certainly feel it on the pitch. You know how much it means to the supporters to get one up on whether if you're an Aberdeen fan, Rangers, and a Rangers fan, Aberdeen. It's usually a very feisty and passionate game. And yeah, I mean, you would know better than I would, Willie. You've probably played in a good few hundred of them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, people think it was during the 80s, and it certainly was. Very ferocious during the 80s. I remember, you know, when Graham took over, Graham Souness took over, got himself sent off up at Pittodrie. Terry Butcher comes in, kicks the door, the referee's door in, takes a big hole out the door. That was patched up, and it's still part of the tour. When they take the fans round, it's still part of the tour. They take them in just at the tunnel there, and they says, oh, and by the way, that's where Terry Butcher kicked the referee's door in.
Who'll be the happy manager tonight? What do you see the result being here this evening?
I can't see anything other than a Rangers win. Aberdeen, as Liam pointed out in his pre-match notes, have scored 4 goals out of the 11 that Rangers have conceded this season. So I think that Aberdeen could score in the game, but I expect Rangers to win the game after 90 minutes.
Yourself, Willie?
Well, I think Philippe Clement's, you know, the man for results, isn't he? And you know, it'd be foolish to bet against them tonight, but watching Aberdeen the second half against Celtic, if they can recover that form and take that form into this game, then they've got a chance.
We'll hear regular updates from Billy Dawes. A reminder, Motherwell are ahead against Ross County at Fir Park. Andy Halliday with that goal. The game here at Ibrox tonight is huge. It will have an impact on the title race. You can hear the atmosphere. It's a big game. Aberdeen, of course, looking to mount a challenge. First of all at the top 6, and then looking to a European place. So let's sit back and enjoy the action here at Ibrox. Rangers against Aberdeen with Stephen Thompson, Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Kenny. I saw Neil Warnock go over to have a word with Alec Ray. Pleasantries were exchanged, probably for the last time this evening, certainly until the final whistle. It's the 4th meeting between Rangers and Aberdeen this season. A win apiece and a draw so far. Aberdeen's win came here in the first clash between them. Garterman, McGrath, McKenzie scoring in a 3-1 Dons win, which cost Michael Beale the manager's job here. Sima scored the Rangers consolation. The Dons, of course, close to making it back-to-back wins over Rangers at the end of November when Miovski's goal was cancelled out by a late Tavernier penalty. But it was Rangers who won the big one at Hampden. Tavernier's second half goal enough to win the League Cup at the National Stadium the week before Christmas. So the fourth battle between these two great rivals about to get underway. Don Robertson, who was the referee for that League Cup final, will blow the first whistle in a moment, and Rangers will kick off as we watch from the main stand, right to left, blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. Aberdeen in the red and gold will shoot towards the Copeland Road stand, left to right in this first half as we watch. The Rangers manager, Philippe Clement, hands in coat pockets in the dugout to the right-hand side. Dessers gets the game underway. One of 4 Rangers changes from the side that started the game against Livingston here at the weekend. Aberdeen with a couple of alterations from the team that started the draw with Celtic, a draw that they could actually have won, and Graham Shinnie had his shooting boots on. Here's Cantwell trying to pick up in the midfield for Rangers. Shinnie pinches it off and goes back to Jensen, who looks for Miovski with a long ball. Suter though wins the header. Pushing down the line for Matondo, spins away from Barron. Matondo first chance to run at the Aberdeen defence. Devlin slides in, wins the ball, and it's at the expense of the game's first corner just after 30 seconds.
It's when Matondo's at his very best. His final ball is often disappointing, but if he gets turned and faces up defenders, he's lightning quick and he causes problems. I have to say it was a very well timed tackle from Devlin.
And Cortez has to start the match on the bench again. Matondo trying to take full advantage of his opportunities getting. Tavernier with the game's first corner into the back post area, comes off the head of Lundstrom, who's forced to go outside the box to the right-hand side in front of the Aberdeen supporters. He moves it back to Ross McCausland, who drives forward down the far side, but it's cut out and cleared by Leighton Clarkson. He's trying to get Johnny Hayes away on his 350th Aberdeen appearance. Todd Cantwell gets there first, plays it off Hayes, but it's actually broken Tom Lawrence's way. Rangers lining up with Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter and Yilmaz, Lawrence and Lundstrom sitting, McCausland, Cantwell, Matondo supporting Dessers. Aberdeen with Roos in goal, Devlin, Gartenman, Jensen and McKenzie, Barron and Shinnie in the middle with McGrath, Clarkson and Hayes trying to engage Bojan Miovski, who is on 19 goals for the season. There's a trip there of Matondo just outside the centre circle by Nicky Devlin. Rangers take the free kick quickly. Lundstrom with the chip ball forward, comes off the back of Clarkson, breaks to Goldson, who finds Suter, who comes in for Leon Balogun tonight, and it's back with Butland, who plays it short to Goldson at walking pace. And that right-hand side of the Rangers defence so familiar. Goldson and Tavernier have been in those positions for years now. As Clarkson loses out to Tavernier on the far side, slips it forward, it comes straight to McKenzie, who goes back to his goalkeeper Kellaroos, who clears with the right foot up towards halfway on top of Yilmaz, bounces over Yilmaz's head. McGrath there trying to win it back. The Turk lets it go out for a Rangers throw in, which Yilmaz takes quickly, bowling it infield to Lawrence. You can see Rangers already in these early exchanges of the game, they're trying to zip the ball about quickly and get in and about Aberdeen in these opening minutes.
They are, yeah, but you know, Aberdeen playing quite a high line as well, Liam, too. You know, their midfield, they're trying to engage very early in the game and not allow Rangers the comfort of building the ball up and having too many touches. It's easier said than done, right enough, and it's going to be a huge task for them, but you know, I think Neil Warnock set them up to be positive.
One thing you would say about Aberdeen this season, it has been indifferent. They've taken on the big games pretty well. Frankfurt and Pauk in Europe, perhaps in particular, they've been here and they've won. They've taken a point off Celtic, something Rangers haven't managed to do yet this season. As Goldson rolls it all the way back to Jack Butland. He's knocking it out to the right for John Lundstrom, midway inside his own half. Turning away from Clarkson, shifting it to the right of the circle here. Lawrence looks up, scoops the ball forward down the right-hand side, looking for McCausland. McKenzie for company. McKenzie puts it out for a Rangers throw-in, but the ball boy's getting the ball back to the Rangers players very quickly indeed, as it's pulled back to Tavernier onto the halfway line for Goldson, who goes back to his keeper. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on at Fir Park. Motherwell leading early thanks to Andy Halliday's goal, 1-0 up against Ross County. What a huge game that is, between 10th and 11th in the table. Here's Yilmaz for Rangers. Remember, Rangers, if they win this by 3 goals or more, they go top tonight, ahead of Celtic's visit to Easter Road tomorrow. For Brendan Rodgers is yet to taste victory in his 2 spells as Celtic manager. Full coverage of that tomorrow here in Sports Sound. Here tonight, though, it's Rangers dominating possession in these early exchanges. Yilmaz into Lawrence, into Matondo, back to Lawrence, slips it through left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Is Cantwell, turns it across Lugiver Dessers, cut out by Jensen, and Aberdeen get it away. Fabulous build-up play by the hosts that. It stays nothing each as Cantwell robs Barron, who's then fouled, and that will be a free kick for Aberdeen. They've started at a ferocious pace, Rangers.
Yeah, it was excellent play, it really was, between Tom Lawrence and Matondo. A really quick 1-2, then the vision from Lawrence to see the run. It was a great run from Todd Cantwell. He slides it into the box. He's just trying to put it across the 6-yard line where it would have been a tap in, but in the end it was actually really good defending to clear it. But probably the best, or definitely the best opening of the match. And you're right, Rangers are playing at a really high tempo. It's been all Rangers so far in terms of possession, and when Aberdeen have managed to win the ball back, and over only 5 minutes in, they've not managed to keep it for more than 2 passes.
Sloppy from Graham Shinney there, had it nicked off him, and Rangers have it back. Suter just sweeping it into the centre circle for Lawrence. Long ball with the right foot out to McCausland on that far side. Takes it down well, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. Little step over against McKenzie to the byline, and he runs out of playing surface and it goes behind for the goal kick. It's Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0. And I suppose, Willie, for Aberdeen coming to Glasgow, just as it was last time, they actually rode their luck in the opening half hour of the game at Ibrox here in September, but they'll want to build themselves into this match.
They've got to defend better, you know, in early exchanges here. The last time down here, Liam, no, it could have been 3 or 4 in the Aberdeen goal before they started to take control of the game. You know, but that was great play by Rangers. I thought it was excellent stuff. Little 1-2, and then you know the run in behind from Cantwell, really difficult to pick up. Maybe a little bit disappointing with the cutback, although Jensen, you know, did really well to intercept it. But when it's played at that pace, really difficult to defend against.
And Dessers was waiting in the middle. He was one of the ones who missed a glorious chance against Aberdeen last time here. Rangers have it. Cantwell out to McCausland, attacking the Aberdeen box now, stepping in field. Hayes slips, McCausland hits it, Roos spills it, and Matondo lashes the ball home. The keeper could only get it as far out as 6 yards, and Matondo smashes it home at the near post to give Rangers an early lead against Aberdeen here at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0.
Well, I don't know about you, Willie, but that goes down as a goalkeeping error from me. A big mistake from Kelleris. McCausland cuts in from the right-hand side, as he often does, onto his left foot. Hits a very tame shot at Kelleris. And it's not right in the corner. For me, he palms it straight out into the path of Matondo, who's got a tap in at a slight angle from about 3 yards out. He's got to do more with it, even just hold it, because there was no pace in the shot. Or if you're going to beat it away, you've got to beat it away out the danger zone.
I mean, Roos puts on a play for Matondo. There's no doubt about it. You know, I don't think it's a particularly good strike. There's not a lot of pace on it. At the very least, he's got to put it out towards the byline. He doesn't. He puts it back into play for Matondo, but it's right in front of Matondo. He could do nothing else but put it in the back of the net. I tell you, Roos has been a little bit suspect in recent games. That was a major mistake from him.
I think he's been pretty poor in recent games, and that was one of his biggest blunders of the season so far. And it was there for Matondo to smash home. There's been a goal, I understand, in the other Premiership match being played this evening. Remember earlier, Motherwell taking an early lead through Halliday against Ross County. Billy Dodds is in Lanarkshire.
Yeah, it's all Motherwell, Liam. They've had 2 1-on-1s after their goal, and then Baird just missed one just seconds ago, but then Spittle picked up the ball in the left-hand side, left-hand channel, comes in the park against his old club, bends an absolute beauty away beyond Wickens to make it Motherwell 2, Ross County 0.
He's having a fine season. Blair Spittle probably the brightest of lights in that Motherwell team, and they now have a 2-0 lead against Ross County in that huge game at the bottom end of the table. But here at Ibrox, Rabbi Matondo smashing home, but it's an absolute gift.
See the other thing, Liam, about, you know, footwear. Hayes goes down, he slips outside the box, and it allows, you know, McCausland to have the free shot at goal. You know, you've got to be able to stay on your feet.
Aberdeen are up the pitch here, long throw into the box, comes off Suter's head, and it's gone behind for an Aberdeen corner here on 9 minutes as they try and respond a couple of minutes after going behind. And Conor Barron comes out to this near side to take, scored here last season. The only bright spot for Aberdeen on that afternoon is they lost 4-1. And Barron with an outswinging right-footed corner as the Dons attack the goal to the right. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. In comes the corner towards the back post. It's headed away by Tavernier. Only as far as Shinnie, who takes it down, shows too much of it to Tavernier, who clears. McKenzie rolling it back to Kelleroos, the Aberdeen keeper. Now the contract at the end of the season. Aberdeen have been keen to keep him. As Willie was saying, it's not been the roost that we saw in the second half of last season. Aberdeen have a man down. It's Jamie McGrath, who has been poleaxed.
Yeah, I think it's just a clash of heads. I don't know whether or not it was John Suter.
Suter, yeah.
When he went up for the header, he maybe catches Suter's. Suter seems to be okay. Maybe he caught his shoulder. He certainly landed awkwardly as well. But the referee did the right thing because it was a head knock to stop the play.
Well, Rangers are unbeaten in their last 46 Premiership games when they've scored the first goal. And that goes back to a defeat to Celtic here in April 22. Aaron Ramsey gave them the lead and they lost it, but that's the last time it's happened in Premiership matches. So Aberdeen have a big record to try and bust if they're to win this match. It's going to be a tall order for them now, you suspect, as McCausland wins it back off McKenzie, comes off an Aberdeen defender and behind for a Rangers corner. 10.5 in, they've got their foot firmly in Aberdeen throats here.
No, they have. It's very direct as well. You know, the football that Rangers are playing, Aberdeen struggling to cope with it, poor defending there, you know, by Gatterman it was, who, you know, really has got to deal with a header, particularly much better than what he did.
Here comes the corner from Tavernier. It's flicked there towards goal by Lawrence, cut out though, and Barron picks up and sweeps it away. Long high clearance goes into the Rangers half where Ridvan Yilmaz gets onto it.
It's part of the problem, Liam, for Aberdeen. I know it was from a corner kick, but when they have been winning the ball back and they do have possession of the ball, the options are so limited to try and keep it. They're going long and inevitably giving the ball straight back to Rangers for another attack.
It's high tempo though Rangers are playing. I haven't seen them play like this for a long time. You know, every thought that they've got when they get the ball seems to be a forward pass, and they're really direct, high energy too, and Aberdeen are struggling to cope with it.
1-0 to Rangers. It's Butland picking up just outside his box. He rolls out to Suter into the edge of the centre circle for Lawrence. Back out to John Suter on this near side. Short ball to Matondo. Back into the Rangers half. Suter finds Connor Goldson. Talking about Rangers' record when they've scored the first goal. Aberdeen haven't won this fixture when they've conceded the opening goal since October 1988. The late Charlie Nicholas goal settled it.
Was Willie playing?
I think he was.
Would have been.
Yes.
Oh, aye.
Here's
First name in the
Tavernier.
team sheet.
Tavernier through for Dessers, who loses out the defender Jensen, and it's cleared into the Rangers half where Goldson will pick up and fires it to Lundstrom, who goes across to Suter to Lawrence. It is total domination from the home team, who lead 1-0 here at Ibrox. Here's Yilmaz picking up on this near side. Then back to Suter, and now with Lawrence. Long ball scooped up towards McCausland on the far side. McKenzie will let it go out of play for a throw-in though to Aberdeen. They could be doing with just getting a feel of the ball here. Willie, it's been too hot to handle for Neil Warnock's men.
Yeah, they haven't been in the game. You know, whenever they've had possession, they've not done a great deal with it. But for me, it's a tempo that Rangers are playing the game at, and I think Aberdeen are struggling to cope with it. And if they keep that tempo up, if they keep, you know, battering at that door, then it's going to be a long night for Aberdeen, and particularly their defence, because some of the movement, some of the quick passing, it has been exceptional.
Here's the goal scorer Matondo, scored his 4th of the season, picking up wide on the left against Devlin. Rolls it back to Lawrence, midway inside Aberdeen territory, back to Suter. Suter steps forward, right foot, side foot ball out to Matondo wide on the left. He's going to try and take on Devlin again here. Level with the penalty spot, looks up, it's a very deep ball. McCausland's header, back aimed for Lundstrom. Right hand side of the Aberdeen box, Clarkson for company. Lundstrom turns and moves back the other way and shifts it infield to Lawrence, stretching his legs. His pass forwards cut out by Shinnie. Breaks out to McCausland again. Now Cantwell is playing in that free roaming role just behind the striker. It's now Yilmaz in the inside channel now. It's Matondo, right hand side of the box. Shot blocked by Devlin. Matondo has it again. Rangers eyeing up top spot, of course, tonight. They look like a team looking to go top. Yilmaz with the cross ball into the box, and it's headed behind for the corner by Johnny Hayes, spooked by McCausland's presence behind him. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. Rangers corner.
It's just incessant pressure, it really is. They're working the ball really well across the pitch from side to side. The passing's crisp and slick. The surface, as Neil Warnock said before the game, is exceptional, and the movement as well. Aberdeen just can't get close to the Rangers players right now.
Rangers just shy of 80% possession on 15-minute mark. A similar story at Pittodrie on Saturday at this point. Aberdeen grew into the game, but they had a platform to do so as the corner comes in, and then Hayes slices it behind for another corner.
You know, Liam, there's possession and there's possession. You know, you can have 8% possession and not really do enough a lot with the ball. You're just keeping it. Rangers aren't doing that. Rangers are trying to, you know, every move forward is high tempo. Every pass is sharp and crisp, and Aberdeen definitely struggling.
Another corner. Suter tried to flick it forward. There's a massive appeal for a handball in the box there by an Aberdeen defender. If that has been the case, we will know about it pretty soon. Here's Cantwell for Rangers, gets between the two, loses out, and the referee brings it back for a foul on Todd Cantwell. And now I'm sure the VAR, Greg Aitken, will be perusing replays of that ball that came into the box. There was a huge appeal from both players and Rangers supporters alike.
Yeah, I mean, we've not got a monitor up here in the stand. It was very difficult to see in real time. I didn't spot anything obvious. I don't know if you did, Willie, but
no.
It will get checked, as it always does.
It's complete and no penalty. So Rangers have a free kick. It's about 6 yards from this main stand side touchline as they look to send this into the Aberdeen box. Rangers leading 1-0, Motherwell 2-0 up. 16 on the clock here. The free kick comes in, and it's a diving header behind by McGrath for a throw-in down by the corner flag off to our left here on this near side, the Rangers left.
Such a good ball into the box, isn't it? Teasing, isn't it? Really difficult to defend against. I thought McGrath did extremely well to cope with it.
I think Aberdeen have just got to hope that this storm passes without any further damage to their goal. They are already 1-0 down, and Rangers are pounding them here. And it's going to be a throw-in on this near side for Aberdeen to be taken by Nicky Devlin. Can they get a foothold in this match before it's too late? Lundstrom flicking it forward towards Cantwell. Barron gets there, goes back to Richard Jensen. Turns it back to Roos, who clears first time with the right foot. Lundstrom, under no pressure, heads it into the centre circle for Tavernier, who finds Lawrence. Out to Tavernier. Out to McCausland on the far side. Low ball infield, finds Cantwell. Cantwell swaggering around inside the midfield, fires it with the outside of the right foot out to Matondo, wide on the left, slipping it through for Yilmaz. Really good recovery challenge by Devlin to slide in, and he's knocked it off Yilmaz as well, so he gets the goal kick and probably deserves his luck, because that's good last-ditch defending. But what a wonderful spot by Rabbi Matondo to find Ridvan Yilmaz in that position. He moved into the inside channel, left-hand side of the box, got to the byline, was trying to pull it back before Devlin intervened. 17.5 on the clock under the lights at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar pattern to what we've seen in this opening nearly 20 minutes. It started on the right-hand side, McCausland with a great pass into the middle. Cantwell switching it out wide to Matondo, and then Yilmaz with the overlap. And you're right, Liam, it was a very cute little pass. It was probably only half a foot away from being inch perfect, but again, Devlin coming up with a big tackle.
Second time, isn't it? You know, and I'll tell you what, the pace of the game's been played at. In both occasions, you have to be 100% certain that you're getting the ball, and he was, and he did. His timing was excellent.
I think a lot of Aberdeen's recruitment last summer has been questioned. Nicky Devlin's arrival, though, has been excellent. He was a 7 or 8 out of 10 every week for Livingston. He's been similar for Aberdeen as Barron takes the free kick to the left-hand side of the box, headed away by Goldson, only as far as McGrath. McGrath taking it for a run out to that left-hand side, down towards the corner flag. He's been bullied off it by Ross McCausland's fantastic work there by McCausland. The clearance not so. Breaks to Shinnie, who shoots. Blocked by Suter. A low effort. Garteman moving it back forward to the edge of the box for Aberdeen. It's collected here, left-hand side by McGrath, who shoots, and it's straight at Butland, who holds on at the second time of asking. Shot on target for Aberdeen, though. First time they've really been up the pitch. 19 in just about, Rangers leading 1-0. But that was better from Aberdeen, but they've been caught a little bit, having come forward. Rangers are on the counter. Yilmaz shows too much of it to Hayes, who reads it well. Over on the near side, rolls it forward to Miovski, who gets it under control, but it was out of play for a throw-in down on this near side for Rangers. Have to say, the Rangers performance, the crowd, everything about it, it suggests it's a team going for top spot tonight. They want the goals that will take them top tonight and put the pressure on Celtic before they go to Edinburgh tomorrow.
It's different. It's definitely different. I've been here on a number of occasions and the atmosphere hasn't been as electric as this, and the intent from Rangers hasn't been as positive, and it's really difficult for Aberdeen. But they get the little glimmer of hope there. It was McCausland that gave the ball away, did really well to win possession, but gave it away to Shinnie, and then McGrath having a strike. A really tight angle, though. You would expect Butland to save that one, but I think it gives Aberdeen and their travelling support a little bit of hope.
It was back-to-back wins in the league here at Ibrox for Aberdeen in 87-88. Last time they managed to win both league games here in one season. Did win in the league and Scottish Cup here under Derek McInnes in the one campaign, but haven't done it in league matches since that 87-88 season. And Willie scored the winner in the first of those. They were a pair of 1-0 victories. Willie got the winning goal in the first one in November. Brian Irvin got the winner in the April.
Well, there you go.
Playing for set plays, by you.
Don't ask me to describe it.
Well, Willie, to keep a clean sheet, come here and score the winning goal. He would have been delighted with that, I'm sure, as Goldson turns it to suit
happy days,
fabulous Aberdeen sides round about that time. Even in the post-Gothenburg era, the ones Willie was involved in latterly as a player and captain and then as manager. And there's Gartenman for Aberdeen, just outside his box. He finds Devlin, who clears his ball forwards, cut out by Yilmaz, and out it goes for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side, almost on 21. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0 at Fir Park tonight. Motherwell 2, Ross County 0.
That's a massive result,
isn't it? Just, I mean,
it puts 6 points between them and County. I mean, you consider they've only won one of their last 19.
Yeah, County have a game in hand as well, so that is another issue, isn't it, for Motherwell tonight? And you consider the words of Stuart Kettlewell when they were hammered 3-0 in Dingwall at the start of December. He said it was his worst night in football ever.
That's right.
They were absolutely obliterated that night. Well, they're turning the tables on Derek Adams' side tonight. Billy Dodds is there for us at Fir Park. He'll keep us up to date. Motherwell 2, Ross County 0. That game kicked off at 7:45. This one here at Ibrox kicked off at 8, and it is 1-0 Rangers. Aberdeen appear to have weathered that early blue and white storm that was coming towards them, to the concession of just the one goal so far, as Roos takes a free kick deep inside his own half. Long ball forward, Suter wins the header. Little nodded ball forward by Lawrence, might break Yilmaz's way here. He's managed to knock it forward towards Matondo. Devlin defends it well, though. Shifts it onto the halfway line for Barron, who now finds Shinnie. He goes down, fouled by Lundstrom, says the referee. The Rangers scouse midfielder arguing with Don Robertson that he felt he took the ball, but enough of the ball to justify that not being a free kick. I have to say, well, I thought he might well have a point there.
I thought there was a bit of the ball taken there.
Yeah.
It was a tackle from the side, and you know, Lundstrom looked as though he had taken himself beyond Shinnie, or Shinnie's touch forward, taking him out of play. But I thought he got a touch.
He got a nick on the ball. He 100% got a nick on the ball.
Not enough in Don Robertson's mind. It's an Aberdeen free kick to be taken by Connor Barron, right of the centre circle. We're beyond the first quarter of it. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. Barron to take. Right-footed chip ball to the left-hand side of the box, where Jensen attacks it, but he gets too much of Tavernier. And it all comes to nothing for the visitors. Free kick given away by Jensen, just to the right-hand side of the Rangers box.
Just hearing you say Tavernier's name there, he's hardly, been involved in this opening 20 minutes. McCausland in front of him has certainly been busy enough, but James Tavernier and Dessers as well. I can't really remember Dessers having too many touches of the ball.
Tavernier normally, as I say, against Aberdeen, he has in the last 2 meetings. He's scored plenty goals against them. He's got more goals against Aberdeen than anyone else. 14 he has. Jensen under pressure, has to put it behind for a corner under pressure from Dessers. Billy Dodds, penalty at Fir Park.
Yeah, penalty's been taken as well. It was a VAR check. It's Theo Bair that's made it 3-0. It was self-inflicted. Liam passed out from the back. Bad pass by Enoch. Came to Bair. He slipped through Harry Payton. Harry Payton was brought down. They had the VAR check. Couldn't overturn it. This is a Motherwell mauling. It is 3-0 Motherwell.
Mauling indeed. Wow, what a scoreline that is. Motherwell looking to put daylight between themselves and County. No wins in 8 for Ross County, and of course Motherwell have had so many issues trying to get all 3 points in matches. As Tavernier takes the corner here, it's headed away by Gartenman. Rangers will pick up the loose ball with Goldson, chips it into the box. Little flick from Dessers. Away by Hayes, not decisive. Barron heads it away. Again, it's not really decisive. Cantwell picks it up. Barron trying to win it back off him. He does, but gives it straight back to Todd Cantwell. The left angle of the box, reverses it to Tavernier. He's still out in this near side from the corner. They're claiming another handball in the box.
No,
McGrath's caught that flush in the head there though, and the ref's going to have to stop play. There's a head knock. The Rangers fans aren't happy, but the Aberdeen midfielder has had the ball booted right in his face at just about full force there. So challenge anyone inside the ground to be able to take that kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it was Tavernier's cross. It can only be less than 2 metres away, and it caught him right in the side of the face, and he went down straight away. So again, good refereeing from Don Robertson to stop the game instantly. The thing is, when supporters see that happen, yeah, they're kind of still moaning, get up, you know. You've just been caught in the dish from 2 feet away from a Tavernier whipped cross. So yeah, as you rightly say, I'd like to see him to queue up for one of those after the game.
25 on the clock. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0, and Motherwell 3, Ross County 0. Willie, Rangers started like the Tasmanian Devil. I think it's kind of settled down a little bit now.
It has a bit, yeah. It has a bit, but you know, I still think they're playing, you know, a decent tempo as well. They look threatening, not as threatening as they were looking in the first 15 minutes or so. But I don't know if that tempo can be kept up for full 90 minutes.
The thing is, though, when you look at Rangers' bench, they've got a lot of quality in forward areas to bring on tonight, and that was getting talked about before the game. And you look at, you could bring Scott Wright with his pace on. Cortez will obviously want to impress. Silva. So they've got options, and if Aberdeen are tiring, then you would probably say they've got the better options in terms of bringing players on later in the game. Yeah,
McGrath still being attended to, incidentally, inside his own penalty area. So yeah, the Rangers bench: McCrory is the sub goalie, Silva, Cortez, Sterling, Wright, Barisic, King, Diamande and Rascan for Aberdeen. Bostuin is the sub goalie, Duke, Phillips, Sockler, Morris, Polvara, Duncan, McDonald and Milne. So there are options for both sides. Neil Warnock down there having a word with Shayden Morris. Let's wonder if Jamie McGrath's going to pass the concussion test here. He scored a fine goal here, took it really well to make it 2-1 or 2-0 as it was at the time. Thumbs up, it looks as though he's going to be okay.
Kevin Bain, the old Mirren physio, now obviously the Aberdeen physio, gave the thumbs up there over to Neil Warnock so he can continue. But yeah, he's obviously taken a sore one, Liam.
Taking a swig of water on his way off the pitch as is protocol, and Rangers fans aren't happy that the uncontested bounce ball's happening closer to the centre circle than at the Aberdeen 18-yard line. Anyway, Lundstrom has it now. Aberdeen down to 10 temporarily, but McGrath's back on now as Goldson pings a long ball forward. They're going to get it in behind for Matondo. He is going to get there, but he can only slice it behind for an Aberdeen goal kick. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0 on 27.5 minutes.
A lot of forward passes, Stephen, do you think?
Yeah, it's been the way for Rangers, really, Willie, since Philippe Clement came in. You know, when you look at the latter stages of Michael Beale's time here, there was a lot of possession, and you talked about possession has to have a purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of the time they were passing the ball across the pitch without really going anywhere with it, and no end result, whereas Philippe Clement's more inclined to let them get the ball forward quickly and before the other team can be set and, you know, read the situation of what's going on. And it's certainly been something that I think has been noticed here.
Loose ball by Tavernier there as it bounces off Matondo and out for a throw into Aberdeen on this near side. But no, it's gone the other way, and Neil Warnock was expecting it to go the Aberdeen way, as I was there. It's a Rangers throw-in which comes back to Suter, who finds Goldson. Well, if you've been keeping an eye as best you can, Willie, on Neil Warnock's antics down below us.
He wasn't happy with that one. No.
He certainly likes to chat to the fourth official, that's for sure. It's a long ball up towards the edge of the Aberdeen box, headed away by Devlin. Collected here by Yilmaz on this near side. It'll be getting towards half-time at Fir Park, with Motherwell enjoying a 3-0 romp against the Highlanders, Ross County. There's Suter. He squares it for Connor Goldson. Goldson stepping up towards halfway. Side football out wide right there for Tavernier. Now he can attack Jack McKenzie. Down the right-hand side he goes. He's now level with the 6-yard line, getting towards the byline, looking to win at least a corner. He's not going to manage that though. And it goes behind for the goal kick.
There was good cover there though. You know, Johnny Hayes did a really good job to help out Jack McKenzie. You know, that's really the first time that we've saw Tavernier marauding down that right-hand side, isn't it? But just over hits it, and he had the two players to take on as well. So good defending from the Dons.
He's got 14 goals and 6 assists against Aberdeen. James Tavernier. 10 of those goals came from the penalty spot. Of course, the one that won the League Cup in December wasn't from the penalty spot. As Cantwell picks up inside the centre circle, just taking it for a run up to halfway, crossing halfway and out that right-hand side. McCausland, Dessers and Matondo ahead of him, slips it infield to Tavernier. Tavernier then with a lovely ball for Dessers, pulls it back. McCausland's efforts blocked, still alive for Rangers though, and it's fired wide by Tavernier. He's on his left foot though, and he puts it into the Broomloan, and it stays. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0, bang in the half hour.
They're ripped apart, aren't they, Aberdeen, down that right-hand side, or the Dons' left-hand side. And you know, when it eventually falls to Tavernier, okay, it's on his left foot, but just maybe a little bit more composure. You don't have to, you know, blast that one into the net. I think you just have to try to find a little pocket of space and be more composed.
Yeah, I think if it's on his right foot, it's a goal. Well, the first effort from the cutback from McCausland was blocked, and Rangers fans looking for a handball, but it wasn't, and then it falls to Tavernier. It was bouncing slightly awkwardly, but I think if that's on his right foot, he definitely hits target. But it was good football again from Rangers. Tavernier, McCausland, Todd Cantwell involved heavily.
Rare possession there for Aberdeen, but as was the issue in the first half against Celtic at the weekend, they are giving it away so cheaply as Lawrence collects, getting it from McCausland, back out to the Northern Irishman it goes. McCausland back to Tavernier. It's been such a breakthrough season for Ross McCausland over there, a senior internationalist now as well. And Suter crosses halfway, he's away from Miovski, looking to slip it through to Cantwell, works the 1-2 back to Suter, he finds Dessers, pushing it back to Lawrence. The Rangers fans enjoying what they're seeing here. McCausland picks up on that right-hand side. The ball was aimed for Tavernier, bounces off Don Robertson just as it was about to come through to Bojan Miovski, and that will be an uncontested drop ball in Aberdeen's favour this time. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. We will get a half-time report from Fir Park from Billy just when the half-time whistle goes there. It's quite the night for the Motherwell supporters. County haven't won a league game since they beat Motherwell in December, as Matondo picks up for Rangers, who pushes it back to Yilmaz. It's blocked though by McGrath, dinks it forward. There's Miovski with a clever back heel now. Jamie McGrath down the right-hand side under pressure from Suter. Down goes McGrath, free kick Aberdeen. Philippe Clement claims that was a dive by the Aberdeen man on this near side.
Well, he knows what he's doing. He knows he's not got the pace to keep running down that right-hand channel. He's got 40 yards to run in. He feels the pressure from Suter. I doubt there was much in it to put him to the ground, but the referee bought it, and it's a chance for Aberdeen to put the ball into the box from a deep wide position.
There's only a very slight touch there. No way it's a foul, but the referee blows his whistle. I thought Suter was always going to catch him as well. McGrath was running out of pace and steam.
Free kick to Aberdeen, Barron to take. 10 yards from this near side touchline, midway inside the Rangers half. He bends it into the box, attacked by Gartenman. Rangers are able to get it clear through John Lundstrom. Dessers controls it brilliantly, looks to run down the right hand side, cuts in field. Shinnie's there to nick it back off him though. Goes back to Devlin, Shinnie claiming he was fouled this time, and this time Don Robertson doesn't agree. So it's played short there to Gartenman. The Aberdeen, I think Neil Warnock mentioned this yesterday during his media round, and the Aberdeen are struggling for width, and that's why Johnny Hayes is in tonight. Has to be. He's not really been getting a sniff recently, the veteran. He's 36 now, Johnny Hayes. It's now with Yilmaz for Rangers up the line for Matondo, sliding into McGrath, and it was out off the Irishman for a throw into Rangers on this near side. 33 and a half played. Rangers leading this game by 1-0. A goal scored by Rabi Matondo inside the opening 7 minutes. It's half-time at Fir Park. Motherwell 3, Ross County 0. I'll maybe get to Billy for an update just when he's ready to tell us about that first half. We'll go to him in the next break of play here. It's Goldson with the side football to the right for Tavernier, midway inside Aberdeen territory. Back to Tom Lawrence, playing in that deeper position, but he's an effective midfield player. But Rangers give it away, and Shinnie has it, and now it's Clarkson out to McGrath. Aberdeen in possession. This is where they've been poor in the game. McGrath scooping it forward to Shinnie, turns it to Hayes on the overlap. His ball across is cut out though. It was weak, and it's straight back to Rangers with Tavernier. He gets it out to McCausland on the right hand side. McCausland up to halfway, he's gone long, looking for Dessers. Gartenman's the Aberdeen defender, heads it away. McGrath with a little cushion header out to this near side for Devlin. Devlin fancies his chances against Matondo, gets away from him, slides it down the line, cut out by the sliding Yilmaz, and out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Aberdeen certainly in the last 10 minutes look a lot more comfortable in the match.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you know, when the game first started, you're thinking the Rangers got their goal, that they were going to go on and create chance after chance after chance. They have had a couple of reasonable opportunities, but since that kind of opening 15 minutes, they've managed to get themselves back into the game without really creating anything themselves, without looking like a force going forward.
The ball's still in play, but we'll get to Billy at Fir Park in a moment. It's Jack McKenzie over on the left-hand side in front of the Sandy Jardine Govan stand. It's now with Barron back out to Jack McKenzie. Slips it back to Connor Barron. Left to the centre circle. It's a long ball looking for Mijovski in behind. Shooter's there to head it out for a throw-in. Level with the Rangers 6-yard line. The ball has gone out, but Aberdeen on the attack here, on the offensive in the attacking third. Will let this attack come to its conclusion. And we'll go to Fir Park. Jack McKenzie's going to leave this for a Richard Jensen long throw into the Rangers box by the look of things. So Aberdeen look to try and find an equaliser. They haven't threatened Jack Butland too often, just that one shot saved from Jamie McGrath. As Jensen prepares to take, by the time he takes this, he's going to be about level with the Rangers penalty spot. Wide the left, into the box it comes. It's off Gartenman, but it's easy for Rangers to clear up towards the halfway line. Devlin's header, doesn't really know where it's gone. He kind of went behind him there, and Dessers picks up the scraps. Clarkson nicks it off him, but only momentarily. Dessers finds Cantwell. Cantwell rolling it out to McCausland. Dessers wanted the early ball. He's got his arm up in the middle. McCausland across, left by McKenzie. He comes right through to Roos. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. Billy Dodds, half-time at Fir Park.
Yeah, I'll keep this quick. Liam, Motherwell have simply blown Ross County away this first half. Halliday, Spittle and Bear with the goals. It's been so straightforward, so one-sided, and it could have been more. Half-time at Fir Park, it's Motherwell 3, Ross County 0.
Sports Sound here, BBC Radio Scotland, this Tuesday evening. Back tomorrow, Hibs Celtic, Kilmarnock Livingston, St Johnstone Hearts, St Mirren Dundee. We will be live at all 4 of those matches. Sports Scene, 2 highlights programmes for you, one tonight, one tomorrow. 10:40 BBC One this evening. Rangers with Tavernier, his ball forwards, cut out by Shinnie, but it bounces back favourably for Rangers to Butland, who underarm bowls it to Connor Goldson.
They've got themselves back into the game though, Aberdeen, haven't they? I think it's been a mixture. You know, maybe the Rangers passing hasn't been as accurate as it was early on in the game. You know, and Aberdeen have actually improved when they have had the opportunity to link up and keep the ball. They've been able to do that.
Rangers in possession. Lawrence forward, is cut out by Devlin into his own box, and it falls favourably for his goalkeeper Kellaroos, whose error helped lead to that Rabi Matondo goal that separates the teams. A relatively tame effort from Ross McCausland. Roos could only palm it out to Matondo, who smashed home on the rebound. As the big Aberdeen keeper launches it forward, looking for Mijovski. Shooter heads clear, breaks to Barron. McGrath goes down, no foul. Yilmaz winning it back for Rangers. Here's Cantwell slipping it out wide left at Matondo. He's away from Devlin, he's away from Gartenman. Matondo sizes up the goal, and it's blocked by Jensen. He waited way too long as Hayes puts it out for the corner. What on earth's Rabi Matondo waiting for there before pulling the trigger? It stays 1-0.
That is Rabi Matondo in a nutshell. He does brilliantly down this left-hand side to skip between the 2 Aberdeen players. He's bearing down and goal. I think it was either Gartman or Jensen basically just show him the goal. They basically showed him the path to go. He's what, 8-9 yards out, just shoot. I think he's caught between thinking of slipping it to his side where I think Dessers was. But in that situation, especially when the defenders almost peeled away and it allowed you the opportunity to hit it, he's got to hit it. By the time he makes his mind up, it's too late. That is a huge chance, and that is just Matondo over and over again.
He doesn't have to take that last touch, does he? I think Jensen did quite well because he thinks it's going to get past the Dessers.
Yilmaz with the corner, the header from Lawrence goes wide of the left-hand post, but it stays 1-0.
You don't say he does well if Matondo...
If he puts it in the back of the net.
Because then he's just let him go. So you might have been right, but I mean... Maybe
I should have been wrong.
He was counting on... He knew it was Matondo, so he's saying
he's hurt himself because he's stretching. So it's really important defending from Jensen. As poor as the decision-making was from Rabbi Matondo, as poor as the defending was from Stefan Gartenmann, Jensen blocks Matondo and prevents his team from going 2-0 down. Because if this goes 2-0, it's game over.
It should have been.
It should have been.
Belarus.
I think we can agree on that.
We shall.
Suter heads forward. It's Jensen's header out to this near side. Matondo with a challenge on Devlin, but Gartenmann has it. Clears it. Goldson with a little header back towards his keeper. And Butland gathers at the edge of his own box. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. We're in the 40th minute. Half-time at Fir Park. Motherwell 3, Ross County 0. There's Connor Goldson. Rangers will welcome Ayr United and Scott Brown, of course, here in the Scottish Cup 5th round on Saturday. Aberdeen host Bonnyrigg. 3 o'clock at Pittodrie. It's a 5:30 start here at Ibrox that evening. The long ball comes all the way through to Butland. Of course, both these sides will be eyeing up silverware. Neil Warnock said as much yesterday in his media conference. That has to be Aberdeen's big target for the season. If they can somehow end a 34-year wait for the Scottish Cup, that's European group stage football. His third place looks gone.
Yeah, I don't fancy their chances of catching Hearts. Don't fancy anybody's chances.
The one thing I would say, and I agree with you, I don't think that would happen, but what I would say is Hearts are about to go into a more difficult run of fixtures that Aberdeen have been involved in recently. Aberdeen have a kinder fixture list, but they're taking nothing away. Over the last 8 matches in the form table in the Premiership, Hearts are top. Here's Dessers picking up, right-footed ball out to McCausland, skips in away from McKenzie. Hayes does well, gets back to help out his left-back colleague and clears up towards Shinnie. Aberdeen cannot get a control of the ball at all. Lawrence to Dessers, back to Lawrence, skipping into the box, wide right McCausland. His cross is cut out and it's headed away by Gartenmann. Here's Cantwell, 41 on the clock. Rangers looking to finish the first half as they started it. Yilmaz with the chip ball into the box is clear by Gartenmann, comes off the head of Lundstrom. Now it is Yilmaz, under pressure from McGrath, facing his own goal. He turns it out to Cantwell. He's a player reborn, Ridvan Yilmaz, under Philippe Clement, keeping Borna Barisic out of the team, as well as injuries to the Croatian. Matondo picks up at the edge of the box, snapshot, Dessers headed it back towards him. Low effort, which is comfortably held on to this time by Roos, but it wasn't hit with any more venom than the Ross McCausland shot was that led to the Rangers goal earlier.
No, McCausland's shot was weaker than that one. It was actually good play from Dessers with the one-touch layoff, and Matondo does well to follow up and gets the shot on target. It wasn't an easy shot because it was kind of bouncing in front of him, but he gets it in target this time. The only difference is Keller Roos holds it this time. I mean, his decision making to try and palm that Ross McCausland shot out.
It was Graham Shinnie for a run. He plays it straight off Lundstrom and it breaks the way of Lawrence. Now he's stretching his legs, driving forward into Aberdeen territory under pressure from Clarkson. Rolls it low out to McCausland on the far side. Infield to Tavernier. Now it's Lundstrom. Looks up at the Aberdeen goal from distance. He likes to slip it to the left for Matondo. Finds the overlapping Yilmaz. Low ball across, cut out by Gartenmann. And Matondo's going to let that go out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. They smell blood again, Rangers. They're trying to get this second goal before the interval.
It's just so direct, it's really difficult for Aberdeen to defend against. It was Lawrence, I think, on that occasion, just gets the head down and drives forward and tries to commit. The Aberdeen defenders before it eventually ended up at the other side of the park, and Aberdeen really struggling to cope with the fast movement, fast passing, forward thinking of the home side.
Lawrence winning it against Clarkson, moving it back to Goldson and out to Tavernier. Neil Warnock would be quite happy to get out the break one down here. There's Tavernier on the right. We're in the final 2 minutes of the 45. There have been a couple of knocks to Jamie McGrath, most notably, so a minute or two I would imagine he'll be getting added on at the end. Yilmaz slips it back to Lundstrom, forward to Matondo. Heavy touch allows Shinnie to make the challenge and win it back for Aberdeen. Knocks it forward to Miovski, little touch for Clarkson. Picks up on this near side to Barron, back to Leighton Clarkson, forward towards Miovski, I think must have thought he was in an offside position. He's not even tried to touch the ball. He lets it go out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side, which they've taken quickly. This is of course what we got used to seeing with Celtic under Ange Postecoglou. These throw-ins and set plays being taken very quickly, instantly just about by Rangers.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Hi, we seem to be having trouble from Ibrox, so we'll bring you a report from Motherwell v Ross County at Fir Park. It was such an important game. Yeah, everybody was talking about what was going on at Ibrox, but here Motherwell and County had to try and get a vital win, and it's been all Motherwell. I thought County might have just put up a bigger fight, but they've been simply blown away. And as early as the 9th minute, a real opportunity bared down the right hand side, cut back, and Halliday slotted home, and then it was just constant Motherwell attacks. They got another couple of goals, yes, and so Motherwell have an important lead here at half time. It's Motherwell 3, Ross County 0.
Bojan Miovski's just equalised for Aberdeen at Ibrox, in behind the defence, and he's managed to hold off Suter, and he knocks it past Jack Butland for a stunning end of first half equaliser here for Aberdeen. It is Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and it's Bojan Miovski's 20th goal of the season.
He took it magnificently well, didn't he? You know, it's just a lofted ball over the top. Was it Suter he wrestled with, or was it Goldson? I wasn't 100% sure, because it didn't look as though there was anything in it. Didn't look as though there was any mileage in it. He manages to get himself front of the central defender, and then cool as you like with a left foot, just opens up the boot and slots it into the back of the net.
It was Connor Goldson. It was Goldson he was wrestling. You know.
Yeah, it's come out of absolutely nowhere. Aberdeen have hardly been in Rangers' box unless it's been a set play in this first half. Ball over the top, really poor defending from Rangers, indecisive. Miovski right on the end of it, and Butland came out to meet him. He simply lifts it, he doesn't lift it over Butland, but to the side of Butland with his side foot. An excellent finish, as you'd expect from Miovski, but Aberdeen back in this game right in the stroke at half time. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, apologies, the line obviously failed here at Ibrox just as Aberdeen were equalising there, thanks to Billy at Fir Park for holding the fort. And you came back to us just as Miovski dinked the ball past Butland to give Aberdeen a sensational equaliser here. And Neil Warnock was celebrating down below us. And that's Aberdeen now, Willie Miller, well and truly in the match. 3 minutes of stoppage time, we're into that now.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you know, simply getting a goal at this stage of the game as well, having been under so much pressure, and Rangers creating many chances in the game.
Here's a chance for Rangers though. They're at the edge of the Aberdeen box. Matondo moving it back to John Lundstrom, who finds Rabbi Matondo on this left hand side. Matondo crossing the ball in, headed away by Gartenman, stoop low to head clear. It's now with Connor Goldson wide on that right hand side.
Final ball from Matondo's just not been good enough. It really hasn't. Rangers have worked the ball well into wide areas, and I would say from the right hand side as well at times. You know, there is bodies in the box, the build up play is good, but the final touch has to be better, the quality of crossing.
Lundstrom back to Goldson, wide right it goes to McCausland. The final seconds of this first half, one apiece at Ibrox. We saw this coming a few minutes ago. There's Ross McCausland on the right, faced by McKenzie, out to the touchline for Cantwell. Cantwell then goes back to Connor Goldson. Goldson then switches it right to left of the circle for Suter. Suter stepping away from the Aberdeen scorer Miovski. Suter forward, left hand side of the box. Dessers looks to cross. It's beaten away there by Richard Jensen. Don Robertson has a look at his watch, but play continues. I make it 3 minutes have been played. Rangers throwing on this near side level with the Aberdeen 18. Yilmaz to Lundstrom, back to Yilmaz, down goes Yilmaz, challenged well though by Barron, who's then clipped by Matondo. Play goes on though, Lundstrom dinks it down the line, it goes behind for the goal kick. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and that is a half-time scoreline. Well, Rangers, one of their best openings to a game all season. They roared into the lead through Matondo. McCausland's weak effort could only be beaten away to the edge of the 6-yard box by Kelly Roos, and Ravi Matondo rammed home his 4th goal of the season. It was all Rangers for the first 25 minutes of this game. It was all about them. Aberdeen began to feel their way into it. Jamie McGrath did test Jack Butland. We were just talking about how important a moment it was for Ravi Matondo when he found himself just to the edge of the Aberdeen box, away from Devlin and Gartham, and he waited way too long to pull the trigger, and he blasted it straight off Richard Jensen. And it's the Aberdeen supporters who are singing at the half-time interval here, because Bojan Mijovski managed to hold off Suter and then Goldson in on Butland, and he dinked the ball home into the net for his 20th goal of the season. 30 is quite clearly a major target for Bojan Mijovski this season, that's for sure. Rangers' big target tonight's going top of the Premiership. This won't be enough to do that, as Mijovski becomes just the 4th player to score against a Philippe Clement Rangers side here at Ibrox. Shankland, Bakayoko and Danny Armstrong the others. Mijovski has given Rangers something to think about, not for the first time. And it's happened here at Ibrox on the stroke of half-time. The scoreline, Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1.
This is Sports Sound
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Over the past 150 years, the Scottish Cup has witnessed it all.
There's McNeil, it's a goal.
It's another magnificent goal involving Jury and Lauder.
Inverness Cally Thistle have made history.
What new tales will be told on this historic anniversary of football's oldest prize?
Bonnie Ringrose, they're beating Falkirk. That's a great result.
That's the result of the round.
Airdrie are beating St Johnstone 1-0.
For Hearts, major relief here in their own city.
This is why we love the Scottish Cup.
The Scottish Cup lives here.
The object of their desire.
Catch all the 5th round action this weekend. Watch and listen across BBC Scotland.
Yes, all that to look forward to at the weekend. It's Premiership action that dominates the midweek card. We have 2 games in the top flight tonight, a further 4 on Sportsound tomorrow. I don't think even the most optimistic of Aberdeen fans could have predicted the half-time scoreline here at Ibrox after that really bright start from Rangers. Matondo with the opener on 7 minutes, but Bojan Mijovski right on the stroke of half-time. He is a quality striker. He held off Connor Goldson, and a neat finish past Butland has us at 1 apiece here at Ibrox. We'll get further thoughts from Willie Miller and from Stephen Thompson, but my goodness, what a blistering first half for the home side at Fir Park. Motherwell against Ross County, Billy Dodds.
Oh, and you just come to me when they nearly had another chance. It's kicked off here in the second half, Kenny. It's been a Motherwell massacre, it really has. To the 9th minute when Andy Halliday, who's just gone off injured, it looks like as well, not a lot of football, just a cut back in the box. He opened his left foot out and stuck it in the net. Then they had 2 1-on-1s. Motherwell missed them both. Good saves both times from Wickens, and then it was 2-0. The resistance didn't last long from Ross County. Spittle collecting a 1-2 with Halliday, and he curled a beauty right in off the far post. 26 minutes they thought it was 3, but the offside flag saved Ross County on that occasion. And then 37 minutes it was self-inflicted. Aina playing out from the back straight to Barry past it, who found Payton, who was brought down in the box, and Bear stuck away the penalty. It has been so straightforward. It should have been more, but at half time it's Motherwell 3, Ross County 0.
Yes, interesting, Billy. Just a quickie on that. We heard from Stuart Ketwell pre-match, a big game tonight. He said he needed to start turning these decent performances into wins. My goodness, they're bang on track. We've spoken a lot about Derek Adams since he returned north, and a couple of dynamite interviews and how the players would react. I don't really think we've seen that reaction we thought may have come, but tonight this looks a really solid performance from them.
Yeah, you take the chance as a manager if you want to criticise your players in public, and you feel it's definitely got to them mentally a bit, because they don't look at it. They've had a couple of goal-mouth skirmishes, but that's it. They don't look at it. They don't look as if they've got any tempo or fluidity about their game. They don't look a threat, and it really is worrying times for Ross County. They've gone to a back 4. They've taken off Borthwick Jackson, who him and Aina were having a nightmare, to be quite honest with you. And then I've gone to a back four to see if that helps, but they've been nowhere near it, Kenny, and I don't know whether that's mentally or just physically, but sometimes the manager's words can have that effect, and that's when you take the gamble, that's what can happen, and it looks as if it's got to them tonight. They don't look together, Kenny, they really don't.
Yeah, really worrying, you'd have to say, for County fans there on the end of a potential hiding at Fir Park this evening. They will have to pick up in the coming weeks if they want to stay away from that playoff spot as things look, given that Livingston are adrift at the foot of the table. Our commentary match this evening comes from Ibrox. Half-time, it's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1. Matondo with the opening goal on 7 minutes. We saw Rangers totally dominant in terms of pressure after that, but my goodness, Miovski showed his class right in the stroke of half-time. A really nice finish past Jack Butland and Stephen Thompson. I think this entire stadium, certainly the home fans, in shock given just what we saw at the end of the half there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rangers have dominated the game. Obviously, we've spoken about how well they started the match. I feel as though, as the game's gone on, and Willie touched on it during the commentary, Aberdeen have stemmed the tide a wee bit. Rangers still had the better opportunities. Matondo definitely should have put Rangers 2-0 up. I think they've been wasteful at times in the final third with the quality of ball that's coming into the box. But one thing I did not see was an Aberdeen goal. As much as they'd stemmed the tide, they had offered pretty much no threat. One shot, and it was, you know, almost from an impossible angle from Jamie McGrath. It was never going to beat Jack Butland. And then out of nowhere, and for a team that's been defending so well, and we spoke about it before the game, you know, they're conceding such few goals, Rangers. It was an absolutely horrific goal to lose, and one man you cannot give space and time to bearing down in goal is Miovski, and he finished it absolutely superbly. And what it does is it flattened this Rangers crowd. You heard them as the players went up the tunnel there, because they know how much this game means tonight in terms of going level in points with Celtic before Celtic's game tomorrow night. And what it does to the Aberdeen changing room is gives them a massive lift. And if Aberdeen can find the same levels that they found in the second half of the game against Celtic, then we're in for you know, a very close contest in this second half.
It's such small margins, Willie, because you were down here for the 3-1 victory for the Dons at the end of September. That saw the end, of course, of Michael Beale. You spoke a lot in the first half here tonight about the difference in intensity from this Rangers side, and you guys were in total agreement in commentary. Liam said it. Had Matondo taken that chance with 38 minutes, 2-0 up, it looked like game over, but my goodness, how things turned.
Yeah, you know, I think the football's been good. It's been direct. It's been very sharp from Rangers. They've created chances. You know, the Matondo effort that he gets, he should score. He's got two minds. He's not sure. He's thinking about Dessers. He's thinking about making the pass to Dessers. He then takes a heavy touch, and Jensen gets the challenge in. But when you've got Miovski, when you've got a predator like that, you've always got a chance. And, you know, if Rangers didn't take their chance and haven't taken the opportunities that they have created, and to be perfectly frank, they were presented with the first goal.
Dreadful goal
from Roos. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking at all about it. It's not very pacey. It comes off the surface. I actually think he could catch it. It's not as if he's stretching. He's almost intentionally pushing it out, but when you push it out, you can't put it back into play.
No, it was incredibly strange. You know, I mean, I was with you. I felt as though he should have just gathered it because of the lack of pace that was on the shot. But to spill it, if you're going to push it out wide, then you've got to clear the 6-yard box, certainly to the side, and it was straight into the path of Matondo. All he's got to do is lift it slightly, and he did that. And you know, when you come here, this has been said a million times, then you've got to start well and try and silence the crowd, etc, etc. We've heard the story so many times, and they gifted that goal to Rangers, and both Willie and I, at that point in time, I was fully expecting Rangers to go on and get a second and a third, because that's ultimately what they want from this evening's game, is to cut that goal difference down at the top.
This is a test for them now, though, Ken. This is a test for Rangers.
Absolutely.
You know, because they have played well. You know, they should have been 2-0 up. Then they get hit with the sucker punch there. But listen, the boy's got an instinct, and he's got a quality about him, and he's got a calmness. Whenever he gets the opportunity in front of goal, he keeps his head and he just side foots it past Butland. So he's created something out of nothing. That's why Aberdeen are still in this game. Now, for me, I think it's how Rangers deal with it in the second half.
The reaction is going to be the key thing. And, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see substitutions. I think Matondo, as much as in the early part of the game he was causing a threat, it's just that final ball. It's just not good enough. The final decision's just not good enough. I'd expect to see Cortez, I'd expect to see Silva coming on. Dessers, for me, again, hasn't been involved. He had one shot, which he dragged wide of the post. So, you know, Rangers, yes, they've dominated the ball as you'd expect in a home game here at Ibrox, but up front, out with that gift that was given to them by Kellerus, have they really created, you know, a massive amount of opportunities? You'd have to say they haven't. So that needs to change in the second half. For Aberdeen, the psychology going in at 1-0, you're going in saying, right, we're still in this game. At 1 each, you're saying, right, we can go and win this game now. And it's a huge psychological shift for the Aberdeen players now. Yeah,
very interesting to see how the Rangers fans react. Stephen, you said at the weekend you're very, very patient against Livingston. I mean, Livingston, I don't actually think had a shot on target the whole game, but Rangers went 1-up, that was it. You know, so it'll be interesting to see, because this is an opportunity to go level on points with Celtic at the top of the table. Rangers have got some decent looking fixtures coming up, so we'll see how the fans react here tonight. Willie, from an Aberdeen perspective, have you seen much different in the side this evening under Neil Warnock?
Not really, Kenny, to be honest. You know, I think Aberdeen has I think maybe the belief, maybe the heads didn't go down when they were under so much pressure, you know, in that first, say, 20 minutes of the game. You know, I didn't see them wilt in any way, but I don't think there's been any magic formula or there's been a huge change in the Aberdeen approach, or you know, no tactical change that I can see. You know, Majowski's he's a lone striker. He's been a lone striker for most of the season, but he somehow manages, even although they don't create enough chances for him in my book, but he still manages.
Well, that's the difference, is chance conversion rate.
It's unbelievable.
When he gets opportunities, he either hits the target or takes the chance. And you know, you compare him with Dessers up front for Rangers, his chance conversion rate is nowhere near what Bojan Majowski's is, and you know, he's a top quality striker.
Good strength as well, wasn't it? I mean, Goldson's a big boy, you know.
Yeah, but you just wonder what Goldson's doing. Does Goldson not see him? Does he not know that he's there? I mean, his awareness was poor, but then you're right to hold off Goldson, who's a very physical big guy. Was impressive, and the finish is equally impressive. But for Rangers' point of view, I mean, that is an abysmal.
I also think, you know, along with the physicality of the situation you're talking about, it's a shrewdness of knowing, you know, how to position your body and how to get in front of a central defender, and that's what he's done. The ball's come over the top, and I think Goldson switched off a little bit, and he's managed to kind of wriggle himself in front.
And at that stage, Goldson can't touch him because he's in the box.
The minute he gets himself in front, then the central defender's done, because he can't go in and challenge him, and he's then just hoping, Goldson's just hoping that he's not got the quality to finish. And I could have told him up here he's going to finish that.
Yeah, listen, I said to you on Saturday, well, I got a good chance to have a look at him last Tuesday night up at Pittodrie. You see a player in the flesh sometimes, you see that movement, that speed of thought. He is undoubtedly real quality, Bojan Majowski. In terms of changes the managers be thinking about, Will, you said before the game you thought perhaps Johnny Hayes would get an hour in this game, so a change I'm sure coming there. In terms of the home side, Stephen, you said Matondo's not offered an awful lot. What changes would you foresee?
Well, I would definitely think that he would want to get his new signings on the pitch. Cortez and Silva, I think they would come on. I think if you're looking for pace, Scott Wright could come on. I mean, they do have options. Whether or not he would want to tonight to have got minutes into Diamonde. Mo Diamonde is other new signing. But is it now the right circumstance to bring him on? You know, with the game so tight when Rangers are having to go and chase it in this second half. But I definitely think that there will be changes for Rangers. I think maybe they became a wee bit complacent in that first half because Aberdeen were not threatening, and because they had so much possession, and because it was fairly easy for Rangers in that first half. But at 1-0, you're never ever safe. You've never ever won a game, and you know, it's very much game on in this second half now. I'd expect Aberdeen to bring on Duke. And try and use his pace and see if he can utilise the wide areas, because, you know, as Willie pointed out and Liam in commentary, they have struggled a couple of times when it's come out to McGrath, who's playing the furthest right for Aberdeen. He's not got the legs to carry the ball down into the final third for Aberdeen, and a lot of their play has been central, and in terms of trying to keep the ball. You talk about Majowski being the sole striker up there. A lot of the time he's been chasing lost causes from balls that are cleared when you're under pressure from defensive areas, and they've not really managed to build the game into wide areas of Aberdeen.
Yeah, I have to say, as another player I've been very impressed with tonight is Nicky Devlin. I think he's done a really good job for Aberdeen at the back. Very pacey, really committed, and always a threat going forward. Always offers himself up. So no doubt at all, Aberdeen have real hope going into this second half. We heard Neil Warnock. He said, let's have some fun. These Aberdeen fans were an absolute dreamland right in the stroke of half-time. So it's finally poised here. Rangers won, Aberdeen won. The teams are out. Let's go back to Willie Miller, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Kenny. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on at Fir Park as we go along as well, of course. Aberdeen have lost all but 2 of the last 26 league games they've conceded the first goal in. Home games against Hearts and Livingston, the only exception to that, dating back almost 2 years. Rangers looking to win a 6th game in a row since losing the derby at Celtic Park. They know a victory margin of 3 goals is required if they are going to be top of the Premiership tonight. They may be at 1-1, they'll take any sort of victory. Aberdeen will kick off the second half. No changes for either team at the start of the second period. And Bojan Mijowski, the Dons' goal scorer, moves it all the way back to his keeper. And Kellaroos will rifle it forward with the right foot out to that far side, but it's won in the air by Suter. Big 45 minutes coming up here. We said that at Pittodrie on Saturday when Aberdeen took 2 points off the champions. It's been pretty much plain sailing for Philippe Clement at Ibrox since taking the reins. But they've got work to do here. And Aberdeen looking to try and get into the top 6 of the top flight as Goldson gets onto a long ball from McKenzie, pumps it out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. It was Connor Barron's long ball that Bojan Mijowski latched onto, holding off Goldson, and a clever finish. And you knew when he was facing the Rangers keeper that there was only going to be one outcome there. It's going to be an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Don Robertson telling Jack McKenzie to just be careful, be wary of time wasting as he leaves it in the end for Jensen. Long throw coming up into the Rangers box. Gartenman's going up to support this attack. Goldson with the challenge, and Gartenman, the header from Tavernier, puts it out for an Aberdeen corner right at the start of the second half. Quite the polar opposite of the start of the first half.
Indeed, very positive start, and you know, a good throw and good set piece there from Jensen right into the corner of the 6-yard box. The difficult one to defend as well. And Tavernier only managing to put it out for the corner, and Aberdeen get an opportunity very early in this second half.
In swinger from Barron from this near side as they attack the Broomloan, and it comes a little header towards the back post, is not clear, it's only half away. Clarkson with a touch can only put it behind for the goal kick to Rangers. Devlin's header looked like it was going to cause Rangers a problem there. It stays at 1 apiece, almost 2 into the second.
Yeah, it was a fantastic ball from Barron, and the header from Nicky Devlin looked as though it was going to just either sneak in at the back post or get a touch from an Aberdeen player. It was cleared by Rangers, but nervy moments at the start of this second half.
Goal kick for Aberdeen up the other end, and Matondo ball goes straight behind the byline.
And I think that's a test for Rangers. You know, things have been going so well for them, particularly here. You know, it's such an important game for them tonight as well. The fans are expecting the 3 points, and it certainly looked as though they were well on their way in the early part of this game. But you know, with Aberdeen getting that late goal and going into the second half, and you know, the fans, if it drifts on and Aberdeen create more chances and the fans get a little bit more nervous, and it's going to be a difficult evening for them.
It shows the seed of doubt, doesn't it? And that wasn't there before, as Hayes knocks it forward to Clarkson. He keeps it in, good footwork from him. Back to Hayes, long ball, asking too much of Mijowski. Goldson controls in the chest, takes it out to this near side up the line for McCausland, gets the touch away from Hayes. Cantwell going after it, Shinnie with a challenge, and out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Butland in goal for the hosts. Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Yilmaz, Lawrence Lundstrom, McCausland, Cantwell, Matondo, Dessers, Aberdeen, Roos in goal, Devlin, Gartenman, Jensen, McKenzie, Barron and Shinnie, McGrath, Clarkson, Hayes and Mijowski. He's taken his season's tally to 20 for the campaign with that equaliser late in the first half. Cantwell for Rangers, low ball along the grass, outside footed to McCausland, taking on McKenzie. level with the penalty spot, pulls it into the area. Here's Cantwell. Cantwell taking it towards the byline, is attempted low balls cut out by Barron. Good work by Barron as Miovski with the dummy trying to get in behind Goldson, but the big defender read it well. Finds Suter, who steps away from the Aberdeen number 9, and finds Lawrence, who shifts it to the left of the centre circle for Lundstrom, who's under no pressure at the moment. Coming forward down the left, he finds Yilmaz. Back to John Lundstrom. Lundstrom trying to turn away from Graham Shinney. He's managed to play it short there to Lawrence, under pressure from Clarkson. Finds Matondo. Ravi Matondo's to come back towards the halfway line, but he finds Lundstrom in the midfield. Forward to Dessers. Dessers has done well, he's found Cantwell. Back to Dessers, who scuffs his effort, and he goes behind for the goal kick. It stays Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, but that was good, promising build-up play by Rangers, and Aberdeen happy to see that go well past.
Yeah, Dessers does well to kind of initiate the 1-2 as he's driving into the box. I actually think an Aberdeen player got there fractionally before he was about to pull the trigger and hit it off his foot, which kind of made him sclaff his effort, if you like. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly more positive from Rangers. I'm just never overly convinced when I see Dessers with the opportunities.
He didn't look convincing. I know there was, I think it was Jensen that managed to get a little touch on it, but you know, he's run up to it. It was good play as well, the little 1-2, but didn't look as though he was confident of finishing that.
Long ball for Dessers to chase. Jensen's the covering Aberdeen player, decides to clear it rather than toy with Dessers and chaperone it behind for the goal kick. Cantwell goes down, no free kick. Throw in Aberdeen midway inside their own half on this near side, as they look to try and win back-to-back league games at Ibrox this season. They've actually won 4 times here in the last 7 years, having gone 41 visits in 26 years without one before that. A better winning record here at Ibrox recently against Rangers than they have at Pittodrie. Here's Lundstrom sweeping it to the left of the centre circle for Ridvan Yilmaz inside his own half. Crosses halfway. And he's got Matondo ahead of him on the touchline. Yilmaz finds the Welshman. Took his tally to 4 for the season with that opening goal early in the piece. Suter with the long ball, switched out to the right-hand side of the box, controlled well by McCausland. Back to Tavernier, lashes it high over the bar. And the frustration you hear from the supporters was mirrored by their manager, Philippe Clement, who turned away from the pitch 180 degrees towards his dugout and slapped his hands as Tavernier hit that wildly over the bar. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1 on 51.
Well, just the expectation is that whenever he gets an opportunity from around about the box that he's going to hit the target or score. It's a good pass from Lundstrom out to McCausland, who laid it back to the edge of the box. The on-rushing Tavernier, he just got underneath it, lifted it high over the bar. But yeah, you can feel a wee slight edge coming from the Rangers supporters now.
Cantwell volleying it forward for Matondo, takes it down the left-hand side, taking on Devlin's doing well to stick to him. Devlin plays it off Matondo and behind for the goal kick. Remains at 1-1.
Yeah, listen, I think Devlin's done really well tonight, hasn't he? He's dealt with Matondo on most occasions, okay. Matondo opportunity should have done better, should have been the second goal, but other than that, his timing and his awareness and his positioning and how to deal with a fast-pacey winger as well, you know, not to be diving in unless you're 100% certain he's going to get the ball. On that occasion, just making sure that Matondo wasn't getting behind him.
Long ball for Dessers to get onto, but Jensen with a header at the edge of his box, out to this near side. McKenzie slices it up high into the air, drops down off Lawrence and out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Neil Warnock happy with the effort of his players down there. A reminder of the subs benches tonight. Rangers, McCrory's the sub goalie, Silva, Cortez, Sterling, Wright, Barisic, King, Diamandi and Raskan. Aberdeen, Duan's the sub keeper, Duke, Phillips, Sockler, Morris, Polvara, Duncan, McDonald and Milne. It is 1-1 here south of the River Clyde in Glasgow.
I have to say, I'm loving Neil Warnock's boots. A wee pair of Copa on, old school.
It's a classic. Yeah. Long ball from Connor Goldson, underneath it is Jensen. His header though goes straight to Cantwell. He gets it forward to Dessers, takes it in the pocket of space and rolls it with the right foot to the left hand side of the box for Matondo. Goes for goal, beaten away by Roos, but breaks to Dessers, and Roos with a brilliant save. That redeems himself slightly for the concession of the opening goal. It looked like he was repeating the trick with the initial effort, but the second save, when he was on his knees with the left hand, was impressive as well.
Yeah, but it's a dreadful first save. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, he's palmed it right back out into the path of Dessers there after Matondo's had the strike from a tight angle. You can't palm it back out like that. You've got to try and manoeuvre yourself and get it out into a wide area. I mean, that should have been the second goal as well. No?
Well, no, it looks as though the offside's been given in the end, so
okay.
The second save I don't think would have mattered in any.
Yeah, he didn't look confident with the first one though, Willie, did he? And he's probably thinking about that one that he did in the first half, and really to repeat the trick was almost unthinkable.
Lundstrom facing his own byline as well to prevent the corner over his head. High ball as Aberdeen look to do some attacking side of play though off Barron for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. It is 1-1 here. It is 3-0 Motherwell at Fir Park against Ross County. All three of those goals coming in the first half. Aberdeen have a man down over on the far side. Stoppage in play as a result of this. Kerdin Idsan can perhaps bring us news though of activity on the Rangers bench.
Lots of activity on the Rangers bench. Cortez is going to come on. He's getting stripped. Looks like Silva's getting stripped as well. We think Cortez will be for Matondo, and obviously if that's Silva getting stripped, then I wonder if Dessers will not be playing any longer. And he's not hanging about Philippe Clement, is he?
He doesn't, does he? If things aren't going his way, and to be fair, they've pretty much gone his way since he took the reins here. He's not scared or frightened to make the changes. Just ask Todd Cantwell that very question. Things weren't going so well in Europe as Cortez and Silva wait on the touchline down below us. Aberdeen have a man down. I'm not sure who it is. Is
Jamie McGrath
again?
Yes,
yeah. He was down in the first half as well. He's been in the wars tonight. Neil Warnock down there having a word with Dante Polvara, who was it Jack Milne? It might be Jack Milne actually. Anyway, he's going to potentially be forced into making a change. It is Polvara he's talking to. And Matondo, as Kerdin was saying, will be replaced here by Cortez. I think Stephen was quite surprised to see Cortez listed on the bench for this one. I think you had a suspicion the Colombian would come into the starting 11 tonight on loan from Lens.
He's obviously just breaking him into the side.
And it is Dessers coming off as well.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, you know, Kenny was asking me at half-time. I think that those are the two players that would have changed. Dessers, he's worked hard, but still, for me, misses something as a Rangers number 9. He's coming off. I still don't feel as though Silva is an out number 9 either, but he's certainly got ability, there's no doubt about that. And I think Rangers had to make changes because certainly in the start of this second half they've not been quite as fluid as they were at the start of the first half. Two players coming to the club trying to make an impression.
Aberdeen change, Kerdin, as well.
Yeah, Dante Polvara is getting stripped. He'll be on in the next few minutes, you would think. And maybe for McGrath, who seems to be struggling. But Polvara, I think, who provided the assist at the weekend, did he, for the Majowska goal against Celtic? He's coming on right now.
He did. It was an excellent ball. In fairness to Miovski, it's still a heck of a lot to do when he received possession. He took his goal against Celtic with aplomb, as he did tonight here at Ibrox. That's why it's 1-1. Both goals coming in the first half. Matondo for Rangers, Miovski for Aberdeen. That goes out for a Rangers throw-in, level with their own 18-yard line over in the Gubbin stand side. The Rangers left. They traditionally do in the second half attack the Copeland Road end of the stadium as Yilmaz beats Barron to it and looks to switch the play out to his captain, and Tavernier passing it forward. It breaks off Johnny Hayes. He does well up against McCausland down in this near side. He's not sure where to go with it now though, and he's given it straight to Tavernier, who knocks it first time forward to Cantwell. Silva pulls off to the right. Cantwell continues his run to the edge of the D. He's got Cortez out to the left. That's where it goes now. Again, Philippe Clement, a bit of frustration down there with the decision making by some of his players as Yilmaz crosses. It's not a great ball though, and Aberdeen can scoop it away through Jamie McGrath. Lundstrom just popping it back into the centre circle for Suter. Rangers resuming their dominance of the ball. It's Cortez out to Yilmaz, back to the Colombian. He skips infield. Central position finds John Lundstrom. Fires it out to McCausland on this near side. Taking on McKenzie, back to Lundstrom, takes a touch and shoots, and it's blocked well by Hayes. Breaks into the centre circle for Suter, who moves away from a slipping Miovski. Finds Lundstrom, low ball forward to Tavernier. Big flicks it back out to Lundstrom, and now it's with Todd Cantwell. Silva makes a bit of movement to his right, but again the pass goes the other side and it's cut out by Garton when he's striding forward, and now he might be able to slip it through to Leighton Clarkson. Right hand side, Clarkson just gets away from him. Yilmaz gets back between he and the goal. The cross from Clarkson, Miovski's not going to get his head onto it. It's the right idea, and those two combined to such good effect last season in their win over Rangers at Pittodrie, but Miovski not quite on the end of it, and it stays 1-1.
The right idea, it's almost there. You know, Clarkson, Miovski's just drifted away from Goulson, and he's lost Goulson. If that's a little bit more accurate, a little bit less on it from Clarkson, then, you know, Miovski's got a header at goal there, and the likelihood is it ends up in the back of the net, just overhit perhaps just a little bit.
I felt as though he should have taken another touch. He had a couple of yards on the recovering defender. I felt as though he could have taken one more touch before delivering it, but you're right, once he does kind of check out, he was only a couple of feet away from being inch perfect.
Meanwhile, up the other end, Cortez wins the corner off McGrath for Rangers. An opportunity to pop the ball into the Aberdeen box, and Tavernier's away out to take it. So Aberdeen waiting to make the change. Might well have second thoughts about that just momentarily. We're about to hit the hour mark with the scoreline at 1-1. Rangers corner from that far side, bent in by Tavernier, it's flicked away by Gartenman. It's going to go out to play for another corner to Rangers, this time on the Rangers right, and Ridvan Yilmaz comes out to take.
Listen, you know, you come to Ibrox, you're going to be under pressure, and they're going to have a few corners, and you're going to have to deal with it. And I think that's where Aberdeen should be mentally at this moment in time, being prepared to deal with whatever Rangers can throw at them.
Yilmaz to take the corner then. It's main stand side, into the box it comes. It's headed away up towards the 18-yard line. Clarkson trying to get onto it to dig out his team out a little bit here, but Silva's pinched it off him. Another Rangers low knee out on that far side. Lovely spin there by Silva in towards the penalty area. He blasts it off an Aberdeen defender. It's Gartenman in behind for another corner.
Great bit of skill from Silva out on the left hand side, turns the Aberdeen fullback inside out. He then drives into the box, got bodies, got options, but hits the Aberdeen player for another Tavernier corner.
In swinger from Tavernier into the box it comes, flicked by a Rangers player out of the danger area. Lundstrom to Yilmaz, his efforts deflected off another Aberdeen defender, and behind for another corner.
Yeah, and the fans not too happy. I'm not too sure who it is in that occasion that's went down, but I think he's taken a sore one round about the midriff there.
It's not McGrath again, is it?
Surely not. I mean, he comes out to block the shot from
It's
Yilmaz.
not McGrath. It's not McGrath.
It's Devlin.
Devlin.
Yeah, it's Devlin this time.
I think he's taken one in the unmentionables.
They've
in the midriff.
Yeah. They've put the sub on hold, Aberdeen, just now, but it might not be for much longer. But Rangers do have another corner. The fans aren't happy with the length of time Nicky Devlin's taking here. It'll be a corner. He's up, he's back on his feet and defending as Yilmaz crosses the corner in, flicked towards the edge of the box, and Clarkson wallops it away. Anywhere will do for the Aberdeen number 10, and it goes out for a Rangers throw-in. The Rangers supporters trying up the ante from the stands. The players trying to do likewise on the pitch, and it's Tavernier with a big switch out towards Yilmaz. Hayes wins the header though. The battle of the little men on this near side. Hayes is hobbling about a little bit now as well. I don't know if you've watched Johnny Hayes down the years, can sometimes look as though he's well out of the game with injury before continuing to play the whole 90 minutes as Cantwell picks up and gets himself away from Clarkson, rolls it out wide right for McCausland. A real period of domination again from the home team just now. McCausland on this near side. It's 1-1, 62.5 in the clock. It's Lawrence outside of the right boot, swings it to the left hand side of the area for Oscar Cortez, up against McGrath, back to Yilmaz, gets the cross ball in, headed away by Gartenman. Aberdeen having to do a heck of a lot of defending, and they've not been good at defending for most of this season. McCausland to Lawrence at the edge of the box. Out it comes to Tavernier. Right foot cross ball comes in. It's a good one towards Silva. It's headed half away. Lawrence takes it down. His shot blocked by Gartenman. Here's Cortez. Rangers looking to re-establish their lead. Cortez down towards the corner flag. Battling with him is Gartenman. Back to Yilmaz. In comes the cross. Silva's header. It's well wide. And on 63 it stays Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1. John Lundstrom's trying to get the fans going from the middle of the pitch as well. You would have expected this to be the case after Philippe Clement made the changes. This is why he brought those two players on, Silva and Cortez, and they have already managed to get that situation going again where they are just producing wave after wave of attack.
Yeah, it's been relentless, certainly the last 5 minutes, corner after corner. Rangers pummeling Aberdeen with balls into the box, but you have to say Aberdeen have defended them by and large very, very well. How long they can keep that up under this pressure is another question.
This is another game without a clean sheet for Aberdeen. They've only managed 4 of those in the league this season. This is game number 23 for them. So clearly defending has not been their forte this season. As Aberdeen played up the line, Suter beats Miovski to it, but it's out for an Aberdeen throw-in. A bit of respite, Willie, for the Aberdeen defenders just now at the dawns of the ball in the Rangers half.
Yeah, but they look quite confident, I think, when they're defending. You know, it's always difficult when you're under the amount of pressure that Aberdeen find themselves under, but you know, sometimes you just get into the zone and you know, you do things instinctively and you find yourself in the right place to, you know, clear balls, make tackles, clear the ball with headers that come into, but a lot of aerial stuff coming in on top of the Aberdeen defenders, and so far they're dealing with it really well.
Goldson for Rangers inside his own box, out to the right of it for Tavernier, up the line for McCausland. Rolls it back low to Tavernier, looks up, the ball forward towards Lawrence, comes bouncing off Shinnie and out for a Rangers throw-in on the near side. Just over 25 minutes of the 90 remaining at Ibrox. Still Motherwell 3, Ross County 0 in the other game taking place in the Premiership tonight. How often do you see that? A team roaring into a big lead by half-time and then off the gas in the second half. It doesn't matter for Stuart Kettlewell, Motherwell, who will win that match as the long ball finds McCausland. That game at Fir Park, incidentally, will be finishing pretty soon. Kicked off earlier than this one. McCausland down the right for Rangers, wins another corner off Jack McKenzie. Rangers into double figures in the corner count.
Yeah, it's another good switch of play. They've used that tactic well tonight, Rangers, a switch of play. McCausland drawing the tackle out from McKenzie. It'll be Yilmaz with the in-swing up.
Polvara change coming shortly. Rangers have another corner. Yilmaz with it into the box. It comes towards the back post. Flicked half away. Chance to stab it. Goal not once but twice. Lawrence to the second effort. Saved brilliantly by the right boot of Kellaroos. That was going in. The Aberdeen keeper keeps it at bay for now. Lundstrom down to Cantwell. They've given it away though, and now Clarkson can nick it out to Graham Shinnie. They're going to force it forward to Miovski, who will chase after it up against Tavernier. He'll get there first, and he stabs it back to his goalkeeper. That was a real chance, that, and Kellaroos this time does, Willie, redeem himself.
He does.
6 in the clock, 1-1.
That's a brilliant save, isn't it? Because there's just so many bodies in front of him. I don't know if it's an instinctive save, whether he actually saw it. He's just thrown his right boot out and he's managed to get plenty of power behind it to make the clearance. That's a huge chance for Rangers.
Rangers best of the second half as they try and find the lead again. It remains 1-1 in Govan, and it is Lundstrom to Yilmaz, infield, forward to Cantwell, jinks towards the edge of the box, runs into Gartenman, who clears. It's now out that left-hand side. Yilmaz, chip ball down the left-hand side. Cantwell, Gartenman comes to meet him. Cantwell turns it back to Cortez on the touchline. Back down the line for Cantwell. Moves to the edge of the penalty area. Finds McCausland, but Aberdeen get it half away. Here's Lundstrom. Rolls it to the edge of the D for Tom Lawrence. Faced by Shinnie. Takes the ball out to this near side. It's Tavernier at the right angle of the Aberdeen box. Rolls it to Lawrence. Takes a touch. Left foot swings the ball to the back end of the box. Cortez wins the header. But it comes right through to Roos, who holds on. We're about to go into the final quarter of this SPFL Premiership encounter here under the lights at Ibrox, with the scoreline still at Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and Dante Polvara at the next stoppage in play will be coming on. He's getting some final instructions from Neil Warnock down below us as Philippe Clement comes out from his dugout to the edge of his technical area, trying to gee up his troops. Still plenty of this game for both these teams right now to deal with, but it's a huge 20 odd minutes this.
Yeah, it's massively. I mean, from Aberdeen's point of view, I think they've
Hayes off, Polvara on.
Yeah, I think they've defended in this second half very, very well. Limited Rangers to, despite their pressure, to just a few opportunities. What they've not managed to do is have any secure possession in Rangers half, or really have a sustained period of pressure or you know, getting the game up towards the Rangers goal. Certainly no chances to write home about. Early corner, but I think they're now probably in that mindset of just trying to see out these last 20 minutes and hope that they maybe get a counter-attack.
Yeah, and it's Johnny Hayes who comes off. Let's go to Fir Park, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, it's just Motherwell seen it out, Liam. They've had a couple of chances, not much happening this second half, but they've had 2 good chances to make it 4. The best chance County had, it was an unbelievable miss from Simon Murray, a good cross from the right, knocked it somehow wide from 6 yards. That was their best chance to get back in it. They missed it. It's still 3-0 here.
Billy Dodds watching Motherwell 3, Ross County 0. A man who scored for both these clubs we are watching here at Ibrox in this fixture. Down the right-hand side, Aberdeen doing some rare attacking. Clarkson, low ball across. Goldson sweeps it clear. Kept in play by Cortez on the far side. Clarkson battling for it, trying to win it back. Breaks to Mijovski at the edge of the area. Rolls it to Polvara. Now Shinnie takes a touch and shoots over the crossbar. And it stays on 21 minutes, or with 21 minutes to play. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1. Nowhere near as good a chance as the one he spurned against Celtic on Saturday. They are from Graham Shinnie, Willie.
That was huge, wasn't the one on Saturday, but this one much more difficult, not noted for his strikes from outside the box. Good play though, you know, working really hard, Clarkson in particular, and the cross coming into the box, difficult one to deal with, eventually falls to Shinnie, but he balloons it well over.
There's Lawrence for Rangers, who are resuming the attacking. It's McCausland infield out to Cantwell at the edge of the box. Back it comes to Lawrence. Lawrence then popping it through to Silva. Silva gets a runner from Cantwell. Cortez is in there as well. It's a little bit of a ricochet, a bit of pinball in the box. Aberdeen can't clear. Silva picks up the scraps, finds McCausland on the near side. Faced by McKenzie. There's been another goal at Fir Park. We'll get that to you in just a moment as Lawrence looks to cross in, but it's comfortable for Kellerus, who holds on. 70 on the clock here. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1. Dodgy.
Oh my word, I mean, you thought Blair Spittle's first goal was really good. This was sensational. They had a block shot, it comes to 25 yards out, left side, and he bends a thing. What a view we've got it here, away right into the top corner, and he's come back to haunt his old team. Blair Spittle's made it 4-0, Liam.
4-0. He scored a couple of crackers recently as well, didn't he? It was the Scottish Cup tie when they beat Alloa. He scored 2 Brammers that day. There he is at it again tonight with a double. Can't remember if I've ever used that before, but it's made it tonight.
Not heard it in a long time.
But you know, when you consider when they lost in Dingwall, that made it 12 games without a win to Motherwell. That was extended to 15. They're now unbeaten in 6. Oh, okay, that's 2 wins in those 6 games.
Yeah, big problems at County though. Big problems. You heard Dozzy talking about the changing room and the players with Derek Adams' comments, and you can't help but feel there's a few in there that don't want to play for him.
Connor Barron with the ball looking for Polvara. Big switch. It wasn't the easiest pass in the world. He's given it away. Yilmaz with the cushion header into the centre circle for Cortez, who finds Lawrence to the right for Tavernier. Forward to Cortez. Good challenge by Shinnie though. Back to McKenzie. McKenzie's dink ball up towards halfway. Goldson read it and heads it forward, and Lawrence chests it into the path of Fabio Silva. He's got McCausland to his left. Yilmaz is there too. It breaks back to Lawrence. Saved by Roos, but the rebound goes in. And Todd Cantwell restores the Rangers lead here at Ibrox. Again, similar to the first one. It's a spilled effort from Roos, and Cantwell this time was on hand to mop up the rebound, and the Aberdeen second half resistance has been blown apart. It's Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, and yet again it's Kellerus spilling a shot. I mean, this one was hit a lot harder than the McCausland one was at the start of the game. Tom Lawrence from about 20 yards. It wasn't particularly much in the corner, but Kellerus gets down and it comes out and falls straight to the feet of Todd Cantwell, who puts it in at the near post to make it 2-1, and it's difficult to see a way back now for Aberdeen.
It's a much more difficult one to deal with, isn't it, this strike? You know, but he's still got to have that mindset that if he's getting his hand to it, he's got to push it out wide. He can't put it back into play, and that's what he's done again. Great backup play, I thought, from Cantwell. He sniffed it, he knew it was coming back out to him, and he slotted it home.
They've actually, the 2 goals, and there was the other opportunity that eventually it was an offside that was given. That's 3 spillages from Kelleroos tonight. They could have resulted in 3 Rangers goals. It has resulted in 2 Rangers goals. It's not clearly an insurmountable situation for Aberdeen right now, but they find themselves behind again with 17 to play as Rangers look to go level on points with Celtic at the top of the table. They need another 2 to go outright top tonight on goal difference, because Celtic have scored more goals than they have this season. The gap at the top is wafer thin now. Aberdeen still have time to try and sort this out for themselves, but they've not really been in this as an attacking force in the second half. Yes, Graham Shinnie and Miovski have gotten the end of things. Shinnie with a shot from distance went well over. Miovski just missing out from that Clarkson cross ball as McKenzie comes down the left. The challenge from McCausland, and that goes out of play off. McKenzie lasses the referee, to the delight of the Rangers supporters, and it is they who lead 2-1. But I would imagine now that they've got their noses in front again, Tomo, that Clement's message will be, let's try and score another couple and get top tonight as Rangers look to make another change. We'll get to you in a second, Tomo. Cairdean.
Yeah, Dujon Sterling coming on for Rangers. I can tell you that Aberdeen are about to make a switch as well. Duke is getting stripped. He's pretty much ready in front of me. He'll be coming on as well to see if Aberdeen can get an equaliser in the last 16 minutes here at Ibrox.
So Sterling for Lawrence and Billy Dodds at Fir Park.
Well, make that 5, and it's Spittle again with an unbelievable pass, split the defence, Vale the sub, he's got some pace, through and goal, 1-1, slips it beyond the goalkeeper. It is Motherwell 5, Ross County 0.
That's a stunning scoreline there. Motherwell 5, Ross County 0. What's that going to mean for Derek Adams? They've already binned one manager this season.
Stuart Kettlewell talked about the result up at Dingwall being the worst of his career. I bet you this is right up there with his best.
Has to be. Anyway, I was asking you about Rangers looking to push for more goals, or will Philippe Clement be happy just to pick up the 3 points?
Well, bringing on Sterling, who's a more kind of defensive midfielder, certainly more defensive minded than Tom Lawrence, but I think the thing is for Aberdeen, they haven't looked at all in this second half like threatening, like scoring. But yeah, I mean, Rangers will want to try and get those 2 goals so they could go top tonight.
Yeah, and Aberdeen didn't look like scoring in the first half, yet they did. Yeah. It's McGrath back to Jensen. Looks like it's going to be a double change for Aberdeen. Killian Phillips is down there as well on loan from Crystal Palace, one of Neil Warnock's former clubs. As Aberdeen come forward with Polvara, looking to nick it through Miovski, right hand side of the box. Is he on or offside? Pulls it across, cut out by Goldson. The flag does belatedly go up, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers when all is said and done. We're in the final 15 of the 90, with Rangers leading by 2 goals to 1.
I think if you're Rangers, you try to manage the game a little bit. I'm not suggesting that they sit back and allow Aberdeen to have possession as McGrath comes off and Duke comes on.
Clarkson, the other one, coming off.
Clarkson and Phillips coming on. He put an awful lot into the game, did Phillips at Pittodrie on Saturday. Plenty of energy, the big lad. He gets about the park too, and of course Duke has that, when he wants it, he has that pace to cause defences problems. He hasn't shown enough of that this season, right enough, so maybe this is his opportunity to turn that round.
Silva flicking on, McKenzie clearing. It's all over at Fir Park. Motherwell 5, Ross County 0. Highlights of that game and this game on Sports Scene tonight on BBC One Scotland at 10:40. Phillips goes in, it's a high boot, free kick Rangers on the halfway line, and it will be a Rangers free kick. Neil Warnock's having a go at Colin Stephen, the 4th official down below us. Very difficult for him to be able to judge the Aberdeen squad, such as the disparity between the budgets of the 2 teams that we're watching, the 2 clubs that we're watching this evening. As Suter plays it forward to Dujon Sterling, and then back the way to Suter, forward to Lundstrom, turns away from his man, slips it out to Yilmaz. He's away from Polvara, drags him back, but Yilmaz manages to continue, pushes it forward, left hand side of the box for Silva. Silva level with the penalty spot, left hand side of the Aberdeen area, up against Jensen, looking to twist and turn himself into some space. He plays it short back to Yilmaz. Yilmaz then moving back the way and finding Suter. Rangers currently sitting on the same number of points as they had at this point last season. Celtic are 9 points worse off, hence the title race that is right now. In fairness to Rangers, the points tally they achieved last season would be enough to win the title most seasons. As Barron slides in, and Sterling, the linesman, waving his flag frantically though, didn't like it, and Connor Barron has given away the free kick. level with his own 6-yard line, right-hand side of the box as the clock ticks on to 78. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take the ball. Conor Barrett's got to take the ball if he's going to argue with the referee there. He gets none of the ball at all.
No, it was a neat turn from Sterling.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about the free kick.
And a chance for Rangers to make it 3-1. And still 12 of the 90 left. And Tavernier and Yilmaz are over it. A group of Rangers players to the left of the penalty spot. Aberdeen have everyone bar Miovski back to defend it. Really important if Aberdeen want to get something out of this, that they don't concede from this situation. Tavernier having a word with Yilmaz. Will it be Tavernier with the right to whip it in, or Yilmaz? Let's find out. Left-footed, and it's an awful attempt there by the left back. Yilmaz, who,
for the amount of discussion there was over that.
I know, exactly. He's told it, he's right off his toe and away into the Copeland Road stand, and it's a reverse side of the goal as well. It's a goal kick Aberdeen, 2-1 no to Rangers.
You just have to find out what they said to each other.
It certainly wasn't the outcome they were looking for. I thought they were going to cut it to the edge of the box where Cantwell was in a bit of space, but gets it all wrong.
Duke picking up for Aberdeen, showing way too much of it to Tavernier, who slides in and puts it out for an Aberdeen throw-in on this near side. Jack McKenzie been told by Don Robertson and thousands of Rangers fans to move back a few yards before taking this throw, which is midway inside Rangers territory on this near side. Not much in red and gold to aim for. Don Robertson's telling him to hurry up. I can't imagine why Jack McKenzie would be wanting to time waste when his team's losing. Not sure people get that idea as Goldson clears from the edge of his own penalty box. Jensen battling with Fabio Silva, who comes out on top. The Silva is away from Jensen, bundled to the ground by Shinnie, and that's a free kick to Rangers down on this near side. Unlike Graham Shinnie to be so combative.
Yeah, I tell you what, Silva does incredibly well. He shows so much upper body strength, and I mean, he looks quite slight. He's tall, but he doesn't look like, you know, all that kind of well built, but he showed incredible upper body strength there. Yeah,
Rangers currently with a centre forward who at one point cost over 30 million quid.
You can see it in his touches, you know, he's got very good technique, looks after the ball incredibly well. Lovely kind of finesse about him. Whether he'll be a goal scorer or not, we'll wait and see.
Well, here come Rangers. It's a lovely ball down the left there. Cortez taking on Jensen, who's come across and off the Aberdeen defender and behind for Rangers' latest corner. But in the final 10 of 90, Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1. And remember, a full time at Fir Park, Motherwell 5, Ross County 0. An incredible scoreline.
It is, but you know, a word on John Souttar tonight. I think his use of the ball at the back, his long range passes have been spot on. You know, I don't think he's had one misplaced, maybe one just dropping a little bit short, but invariably he finds a target.
He's going to get his chance now with Leon Balogun being out as Rangers take the corner through Tavernier. It's really deep. Goldson with the header, heads it back towards the 6-yard line where the effort and the overhead kick from Cortez is blocked, and then Aberdeen pick up a free kick, a foul by McCausland and Devlin on this near side. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
On that occasion, Goldson peeling off to the back post. The ball was hit really deep and he just feeds it back into an area. A speculative effort it was from Cortez, and it bounced up, went for the overhead kick, and Aberdeen managed to clear. They've really got to start pushing bodies forward now. Aberdeen coming into the kind of final 10 minutes or so. Oh, that's going to be a red card.
I'll tell you.
It's Duke and Goldson. John Robertson's given yellow, but will there be further repercussions here for Duke? He's been pushed away by Fabio Silva. He's got his arm round him, and Don Robertson, well, will there be further action taken? Greg Atkins, the VAR, on duty.
Well, he was quick with the yellow. From here where I'm sitting, to me it looked as though it could have easily have been a red. He certainly led with his elbow and caught Goldson flushing the eyebrow. We'll wait and see.
His manager's having a word with him down there, and it looks as though the yellow is going to be sufficient for Greg Aitken as it was for Don Robertson. So game on. Duke stays on, yellow carded though. 82.5 on the clock. Rangers leading by 2-1. This is incidentally Aberdeen's last game against either Rangers or Celtic until post-split, should they get into the top 6. And would think with the budget, if they don't get the top 6, that is, in football terms, a bit of a disaster for them. As Duke controls on the chest on this near side, he slips though, and Dujon Sterling has it. Down goes Sterling. Play on, says the referee. Duke's just been yellow carded as well, as Cantwell slips it out to Cortez on the left. And sloppy from the Aberdeen number 11, but it's Rangers here looking to seal the victory. Yilmaz on the 18-yard line. Out to Cantwell wide on the left, faced by Polvara. Cantwell, who right now is the match winner, as he was the final meeting between these two last season here. Cantwell turns it back there to Cortez. Square ball for Tavernier, just outside the centre circle. Dinks it out to Sterling on this near side. Then out wide right it is McCausland taking on Mackenzie. Scampering across and finding Tavernier, and then back out wide for Sterling. Infield for McCausland. Square ball Lundstrom, then side foots it to Dujon Sterling. Chip ball to the edge of the box for Tavernier. He's got his back to goal. Turns it out to McCausland on the near side. And then Sterling. Cortez slips. And Shinnie picks up, and now it's Phillips. Just to hold off Silva, who catches him late. Duke will play on here. The referee's giving Aberdeen the advantage. Duke trying to charge down the left-hand side, losing his footing against Sterling, but still he goes. He's at the byline. Goldson with the challenge. Goldson wins it back, finds Sterling, and now it's with McCausland, who comes forward. Sliding in is Phillips. There's a little go at Ross McCausland. It's going to be a throw-in on this near side.
I think the Aberdeen players are asking for a card for Silva for his tackle.
It would have been probably worthy of the yellow card.
Yeah, but I thought it was, and I think they're asking, now the play's stopped, why he's not taking it back. But more subs for Rangers.
Cantwell off, and Diamande will come on. One of the new signings that Rangers made in what was a relatively busy window for them. And Mohamed Diamande, the Ivorian, arrives from FC Nordsjælland, comes on. And a man who Stefan Gartenman knows well. He's on loan from Nordsjælland. Final 5 minutes, Willie, of the game.
Yeah,
It's 2-1 Rangers.
I'm just wondering what the referee would have done. If Duke, how he'd, I'm not too sure who it was, can't remember who it was, that he threw his hand out and tried to, flip him to the ground if that free kick was given, because it's a deliberate act, isn't it, to stop
He looked it,
He's
yeah.
just booked before it as well.
Yeah.
Stupid. Anyway, just a thought.
Rangers have it with McCausland. They are edging ever closer to the 3 points. Not enough as it stands to take them top of the table tonight. They need a 3-goal victory. It's an Aberdeen team that's capitulated in Glasgow in stoppage time this season already. They'll be keen not to do so. Still in the game, of course, as Gartenman clears only as far as Sterling. Back it comes to Tavernier. Rolls it out wide right of the box here for McCausland. Infield for Tavernier. Stabs it back to McCausland, who skips infield away from Mackenzie. Breaks here to Sterling, who finds Tavernier. Infield for McCausland. McCausland under pressure. 3 Aberdeen players around him. Barron eventually wins it back. Polvara looking for Miovski, who's done well to try and keep it alive there, but pinch back Diamande, who finds McCausland on the near side. Rangers have touched the ball around really well tonight, and that's brilliant skill from McCausland away from Mackenzie and Shinnie to Diamande at the edge of the box. His pass is cut out. Phillips wins it back for Aberdeen and finds Shinnie, who finds Duke on the touchline on this near side. Back to Shinnie, long ball for Killian Phillips, controls well on the chest on the halfway line. Header Lundstrom, Duke to his left, he's coming forward, rolls it to Duke, left hand side of the box, faced by Goldson, plays it across. Miovski tries to flick cleverly for goal, and it's a comfortable take for Butland. It would have been surely much better for Miovski to smash that first time into the left hand side of the goal. He tried to almost backheel it towards the bottom right corner, and it was an easy take for Butland on 87. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1. Will Aberdeen get a better chance than that between now and full time?
Well, time will tell, but it was a good chance, and I'm with you, Liam. I don't know why he's decided just to have the little back heel, because I don't think... Oh,
that's a terrible challenge by Sterling and Mackenzie, and the referee goes to his top pocket. Red card! Dujon Sterling's been sent off in the final 3 minutes of the 90. Don Robertson flashes red at the Rangers substitute as he went steamrolling into Jack Mackenzie. And as they did at the end of September, Rangers are down to 10 men. This time, though, they do have the lead, and time very much against Aberdeen.
Well, you've got to say, on first viewing, to me, it looked as though he went over the ball. It looked high. He definitely catches McKenzie. Philippe Clement down below is going absolutely crazy at the fourth official. He didn't think that it was a red card.
Nah, it's reckless. I think it's actually 2 feet.
I think it's the speed he goes in as well.
Yeah,
Willie.
it's endangering an opponent. You know, I think my reaction initially was, whoa, that was really bad, and you know, it could have been a real bad one for Jack McKenzie. He's nowhere near the ball. I think McKenzie's always getting the ball first, and for me it was like 2 feet getting in as well, and it was a lunge too. It wasn't a tackle, it was a lunge. So
it certainly didn't look good.
Well, they're checking it just now, just to make sure that Don Robertson's made the correct call. Dujon Sterling, of course, has to wait down on the touchline for either confirmation that it stands or whether he's going to get a stay of execution here. The serious foul play that he was sent off for is being double checked. I've seen one showing of it, but it was the same speed with which I saw it. Oh, he's going to come and have a look at it. Well, Sterling might be staying on the pitch here. Neil Warnock comes over to have a go at Don Robertson. But what we know when this normally happens, that the decision's overturned. Let's have a look at this. I remember Willie Collins sticking with his guns here last season when St Johnstone were in town. And Don Robertson's down watching replays of it. I mean, Clement and Sterling were adamant that this shouldn't have been red. Well, the referee has been advised by his VAR, Greg Aitken, to come over and have another look at it here. So Greg Aitken clearly feels this is worthy of just a yellow. The guys are getting a chance to see a replay of it.
I think it's reckless. I thought it was a two-footed tackle. It wasn't. It was just a 1 foot. But it's a reckless.
Yeah, off. Don Robertson says the red card stands, and Rangers are down to 10. And Aberdeen have been moved to make a change immediately by the looks of things. Neil Warnock down there. Let's find out what it's going to be from Kerridine.
Yeah, Morris is about to come on for these last few minutes, and Neil Warnock, what a pantomime as the referee came across to have a look at VAR. He wasn't at all happy that he even had to have a look, but he's got his way. Rangers down to 10.
Well, what's the stoppage time going to be? We've played the 90 officially. Colin Stevens too busy doing paperwork to tell us what the stoppage time is. Free kick Aberdeen, into the edge of the box it comes, breaks back to Morris, waited too long, comes to Gartham and he fires it across. Butland with a save. Polpara tries to attack it, Mijovski's there, blocked on the line, and Butland holds on. That was the chance for Aberdeen. They couldn't take advantage of it, and it stays 10-man Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
Well, I tell you what, that was a monumental scramble.
8 minutes being added, by the way. 8 minutes. We're into the first of those.
What a scramble that was in the middle of the Rangers 6-yard box. I think Polpara, initially there's a short block that spins high up into the air, around about the 6-yard line. Polpara kind of doesn't go and commit towards the header, but it bounces and nobody knows what to do. Folk are just slashing at it. And eventually, I think it's Mijovski that gets...
I think a free kick's eventually been given. The challenge on Butland, presumably. It's either that or an offside.
It's a great initial save though, isn't it, from Butland? Was it Gartenman that had the strike?
It was.
He really had it sweet, and you know, Butland's in the right place, and he manages to get good palms to it, and he doesn't manage to clear it though, so you know, there is then a real scramble. And you're right, Polvara and then Mijovski, but the free kick's given. I didn't see the need for the free kick, to be perfectly honest, but the referee decided that was in fact the decision.
Aberdeen perhaps with a bit of renewed belief here. Here's Duke down the left hand side taking on Tavernier. Fancies his chances. Tavernier just brushes him aside though and passes it to Lundstrom. He played almost officially 2 minutes as Polvara catches Silva, and of course Rangers supporters will be howling for every single decision.
Come on.
And that's a yellow card for Polvara for a foul on Fabio Silva.
I'm sorry, I could be wrong, but you don't have to roll about in the ground like that.
He's back up.
There's a wee clip. There's a wee clip.
It's frustrating. It's what you see a lot of players on the continent doing. It's a foul, no more than that. I mean, I didn't even think it was a yellow. I think he clips his foot, but Silva goes down like he's been fired out a cannon. He's back up absolutely fine now. I don't like to see that. I do not like play acting.
Rangers free kick. They look to just eat away the seconds now. They'll be happy with 2-1. they'll look to try and get to the top of the league a different day. Of course, Celtic go to Hibs tomorrow. Brendan Rodgers looking for his first ever victory in Leith over his 2 spells. That is the headline match of tomorrow night. Loads of action to come on Sports Sound tomorrow night here on BBC Radio Scotland. This game's not finished yet though, and it's Aberdeen with it down the right with Shayden Morris, who's just on, and he passes it back off Diamande and out for an Aberdeen throw-in, which he bowls back to Devlin. 3 minutes of 8 that were added have come and gone. Devlin's given it away, and it's Cortez down the left-hand touchline. Fabio Silva. And then they've got options in the middle. Silva might fancy this himself, and he puts it just wide. Oh, Cortez is waiting for the pullback. Silva shoots across the bows of the Aberdeen goal, and it goes wide of the right-hand post and stays. 10-man Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1, 3.5 into 8 minutes of stoppage time.
Well, that's the risk for Aberdeen as they're piling men forward and taking more risks than they have done in the whole match. They get caught in the counter-attack, and it was Silva down that left-hand side. He carries it about 20 yards into the box, fakes the shot on his right, takes it onto his left past the defender, and he's inches away at the keeper's far post from making it 3-1.
You can't blame him for having the go as well. You know, he did have options to square it to Cortez, but you know, Silva making that run really powerful as well. Not far away from it.
Slipped by Devlin. Lundstrom taking advantage, driving down the left-hand side. Polvara for company, and Polvara puts it out for a Rangers throw. And once again, John Lundstrom waving his arms in the air to the Rangers supporters for one last push for them. They lead 2-1. And they've negotiated half of the stoppage time. And I think the game got back underway in the wake of all the red card stuff when they were already into a minute of stoppage time. There might be a little bit on top of it as well. The Rangers are keeping Aberdeen hemmed in down that left-hand side, down by the corner flag. And Yilmaz has a throw-in. Very close to continuing this excellent run under Clement. Just that one defeat which came to Celtic, and Aberdeen can't prevent the corner down the left. Rangers continue. Now it's Yilmaz's turn to wave his arms at the Rangers fans. He's doing the trick, that's for sure. There's not too many have left Ibrox early tonight.
Yeah, the decibel level's certainly gone up.
Even sometimes when they've got narrow leads, some decide to try and beat the traffic. Not so this evening. Rangers have it down the left. Aberdeen cannot get out. It's at the wrong end of the pitch for them as Silva looks to try and win a corner. He gets the nutmeg on Garteman. Now it's Yilmaz trying to pull it back. It's going to break back though to Kelarus. It's Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1. We've played 5.5 of 8 minutes of stoppage time. The Dons had their chance. Long ball. Miovski goes up. Goldson timed his jump better though and picked up by Cortez. You wouldn't think Rangers were down to 10 men the way they're playing this. It's Cortez down that far side where it's now level with a penalty spot. Devlin for company. Devlin knocks it out for a Rangers throw-in. This is going perfectly for Rangers, this. Neil Warnock frustrated down there. His team cannot get up the pitch even though they got a player advantage. They trail 2-1. It's looking like a Rangers victory.
Yeah, sensible play though, Liam. You know, you've got the lead, you're down to 10 men, and you know, you've got lone Rangers down that to the left-hand side, taking the ball into the corner flag and just running down the clock.
And that goes behind for a goal kick this time to Aberdeen, who now only have about a minute and a half left to play with here. Trailing 2-1. They scored late in the first half. We're going to do late in the second here. It is Richard Jensen with the long left foot ball forwards, all pretty aimless, but Goldson's clearance isn't great. He shanked it into the main stand. Throwing Aberdeen about level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box, and Richard Jensen's going to wind up a long throw here. In Aberdeen fashion, one last chance to take an invaluable point from Glasgow here. Long ball, Jensen from the throw, and it comes headed away by Goldson. It's a towering header as well. McKenzie facing his own goal, plays it off Silva. The pressure was too much for the Aberdeen left back. Silva emerges with it on this near side. Shinnie comes across and pinches it back. Here's Polvara, plays it straight off Tavernier, and the loose ball breaks Lundstrom's way. His dink forward's going to come right through to Roos. I make it, there's 30 seconds left of the 8 minutes. And as I said, there might be a little bit added on top of that. We shall wait and see. Kellaroos a long way from his goal, has the ball under no pressure, long right-footed ball forward from the big Dutch keeper, looking for Polvara, towering header this time from Suter. Now it's Miovski, he's outside the box, he goes down, free kick Aberdeen, and they've got this in an attacking position, right of centre, and Willie, what's this, about 24, 25 yards from goal?
Yeah, I would say that. A good position, not too far off a central position, and I think probably ideal for the strike at goal, isn't it? You think left foot?
There's no time left, it's got to be a shot.
Yeah,
it's now or never for Aberdeen, whose supporters over in that Govan West corner.
Duke likes to hit them strangely as well, doesn't he? Hits them with a kind of an instep, and the ball does move.
Well, it's him and Miovski who are over this. Well, this is it now. This is the last chance of the game. The two managers down below us, one looking a little bit more edgy than the other. The Rangers manager hoping his team can survive this late free kick chance for Aberdeen. The stoppage time's come and gone. This is Aberdeen's last chance. Miovski and Duke over it. Butland waits in his line. Who will it be, and what will happen? It's Duke who takes right footed. Oh, it's not far away, but it's wide, and Butland celebrates, as do the Rangers fans as the full-time whistle goes. Duke wasn't too far away with that free kick. Now that's a big 3 points for Rangers. You can just tell by the reaction of the players as they celebrate down below us. Aberdeen coming close there in truth. Rangers deserve the win tonight. They bossed huge swathes of this match. What was Neil Warnock's bow as Aberdeen manager? They led early through Matondo. Kellaroos spilled it. Matondo ate up the rebound. Miovski stunned Ibrox. In the last minute of the opening 45s, he latched onto a long ball from Connor Barron before clipping the ball past Butland to make it one apiece. They held out for a big spell in that second half under intense pressure, but once again it was a Kellaroos spill that allowed Todd Cantwell this time in to smash home the rebound low into the bottom right corner. John Sterling was sent off, the sub, late in the day, just as we ticked into stoppage time. 8 minutes were added, and Aberdeen had that opportunity from the free kick right at the end. It was Duke rather than Miovski who took it, but he put it past the right-hand post, and the final whistle followed immediately afterwards. It is Rangers' victory in what is always a powder keg fixture. Neil Warnock introduced to Scottish football. He said for a long time he's wanted to manage in this country. Well, he got his first taste of it tonight. It's a big 3 points for Rangers. It draws them level on points with Celtic at the top of the Premiership, the defending champions, just ahead on goal difference. For Aberdeen, they will look to this game and look at the fixture list and know that this is the last time they'll have to play the top two this side of the Premiership split. They will hope to take them on again when that happens. It finishes here at Ibrox. Another pulsating evening. Another pulsating fixture between these two. 10-man Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
This